let's do it. Come on in. Come on in now. So, Auntie Leah can do a thing. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Salute, salute, salute. Welcome back to Kicking It with Auntie Leah and the Truth Gang. Right now, we're just going to wait on some more of the family members to come in. Everybody to please like the live and share the live while we're waiting on other members to get here.
Mama cried when the sirens came. Another young soul gone, another family change.
Salute to everybody in the back.
Truth, but the pain remains. Different faces, same story, just a different name. We grew up here and freedom reigned, but freedom feels different when you're fighting for everything. Working 2 jobs, still can't pay the bills. Why the wealthy get rich
family members
from
get
the
here.
top of the
We'll get started here shortly.
Turn on the news and what do we see? More division, more hatred, less unity. They tell us be patient, wait our turn. But how many generations gotta live and learn? Oh, we've been knocked down.
Please hit the like button while we're waiting. Just a couple of more minutes. I'm going to share the live right now.
That they can't control. A strength is buried deep within.
Come on.
My people, hold your head up high. Don't let this world convince you not to
Salute
try.
to everybody in the back. Welcome. We're just waiting on more people to get here before we get started. Right?
They can build walls, they can close doors, but they can't stop what we're fighting for. We are the voice, we are the light, and together we'll keep up this fight. Children growing up without a chance, caught in a system that won't advance. Schools underfunded, dreams put on hold, while promises fade and stories grow old. Mothers praying every night that the babies make it home alright. Fathers working till their hands are worn, trying to get their families a better morn. Still we rise when they expect us to fall. Still we answer when our people call. Still we love when they give us hate. Still we believe it's not too late.
Welcome everybody. Welcome. Hit the like button. Share the live, please.
Red lines drawn through neighborhoods. Broken promises dressed up as good. We watch dreams get pushed aside. Watch too many mothers cry. Watch too many candles burn. While the world keeps taking turns.
Free Carmelo.
Paved the way through darker nights and harder days. They carry faith when hope was thin, and that's the reason we're still here. So teach the children who they are, not what the doubters.
Shout out to everybody in the back, in the bushes. We're going to start here shortly.
I see the pain, I see the tears. Oh, I see the battles fought for years. Oh, I see the names we can't forget. Oh, the family still demanding respect. I see the voices crying out, asking what justice is about. But I also see strength. I also see grace.
For everybody that
I see
stopped by.
survivors in every place. And no matter what they say,
Thank you
no
for your
matter
patience. Welcome to the Truth Gang Live. I know we are always having to basically wait on people to get here. Some Facebook, YouTube, all of them, they don't send out our notifications. So if you're new to the channel, please hit the notifications button so that you can know when we go live. We had a wonderful live earlier today discussing Nolan Wells, and we are here to continue that discussion. We are currently, first of all, I want to thank you again for being here. Thank you for being here, Relentless. Thank you for being here. And thank you for the gifts. I really appreciate you. Tonight, we will be reviewing the Nancy Grace premiere that will be starting here in about 5 minutes to continue our discussion on the Nolan Wells case. Her title is interesting. I'm going to be honest with you. I feel like that Nancy Grace has kind of switched up. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna be honest. I know that a lot of my people love and respect her. I still kind of side eye her, from the way that she did and handled the Carmelo Anthony case. But if you can take off the surface level thinking tonight and put on your critical thinking, I want you to pay attention to the questions that are being asked. Pay attention to the guest that she is having on. But you know what? Even if she did switch up, we're not stopping. We're going to say his name every single day. And that's a fact. And it doesn't matter about the intimidation and PR campaign that's going on right now by those young men and their attorneys. Because I want to know, why on earth would you hire an attorney before Nolan Wells' body was even found? Does that make sense, Truth Gang? You hired an attorney the very next day. He wasn't found unalive yet. So what did you need an attorney for? Now, Tyler Cox, which is one of the attorneys for Jax, Morgan, and Warren, said on Nancy Grace's interview yesterday that they hired the attorney the next day before Nolan was even found deceased. Please tell me how that makes sense, Truth Gang. Welcome, Wilbur. Yes, he was. I agree that Carmelo Anthony was in self-defense. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here, La Savine. If you're new here, thank you so much. Yes, they did. Yes, they did. You need to go. I'll prove it to you. They said it with his own mouth. See, don't come to my show capping. Because all I got to do is pull up the video that Nancy Grace and Mr. Paulstein, what's his name? Tyler Cox. The other one was Paulzik. Attorney Paulzik did with Nancy Grace yesterday. Tyler Cox is the one who said it. I'll pull it up after we watch this interview, after we watch this video tonight. You stay right there, Master Carpenter 1970. Because what you won't do on my channel is call me a liar. Okay? I'm going to prove it to you. All right. So, salute. Who was this? J Pal, salute. There was no reason to talk to the police the next day. This is before they even found him. So no. They called the attorney before he was found dead. And that's weird to me. It's weird behavior. So let's get ready we got less than a minute. So I'm going to bring the video up, turn the music down so that we can get right into it. No all caps. Please don't use all caps in the chat, please. I appreciate you stopping by the channel and kicking with us. As long as you stay respectful in the comments, you won't get put out. But if you come in here and you type it in all caps, you're dropping cuss words in the comments, you're starting racial divide and wars in the comments, I need to get you out of here, because we're not here for that. We're here to find out what happened to Nolan Wells. That's it. And I will have to mute that until that music stops. But you're welcome on this channel as long as you stay respectful. Have a healthy debate. Have respectful dialogue. You do not have to be evil and nasty. But as soon as you do, you'll be banned expeditiously. All right, let's get right into it. I didn't understand your comment. Can you please rewrite it?
Bombshell tonight in the Nolan Wells investigation. Tonight, the timeline seemingly blows up. This as Nolan's mother is investigated. Why? And tonight, possibly even more important, where is Nolan's phone? Good evening. I'm Nancy Grace. This is Crime Stories. I want to thank you for being with us. We want the truth about what happened to Nolan Wells.
Bertram boat was seen leaving shortly afterward at a high rate of speed. Pretty certain Nolan Wells was part of a group that was, quote, almost fighting around 5 p.m.
I'm on the side of finding out why everybody got back to the mainland except Nolan Wells.
I don't think they've cooperated at all. They do not have Nolan's phone. They haven't had access to Nolan's phone. The Jackson County Sheriff's Department has it. So how can you say that there's text missing or there's photographs missing? Our boys had no reason to do anything with Nolan's phone other than give it back to Christine and her friends later that night. So anything about missing text messages or Snapchats is completely false.
Big question. That is Tyler Cox representing the so-called friends of Nolan on Horn Island. And if he's claiming that no one see the phone, how does he know that something's not missing? So that's a double-edged sword, isn't it? Let's hear that one more time from our friend Dan Abrams.
I don't think they've cooperated at all. They do not have Nolan's phone. They haven't had access to Nolan's phone. The Jackson County Sheriff's Department has it. So how can you say that there's text missing or there's photographs missing? Our boys had no reason to do anything with Nolan's phone other than give it back to Christine and her friends later that night. So anything about missing text messages or Snapchats is completely false.
That's a veteran trial lawyer. That is Tyler Cox. He's representing the young men that were on the boat that took Nolan to Horn Island and came back without Nolan, according to them. Joining me in all-star panel, I'm not saying Cox is right or wrong, but what I am saying out to Brandon Tatum. Tatum, former police officer, Tucson, star of The Officer Tatum on YouTube. He has interviewed Nolan's acquaintances that were on the boat that day. Officer Tatum, thank you for being with us. Let me talk about this one moment. We've got so much to get to. I'm going to try to be brief. Tyler Cox stating, I don't think they cooperated at all. I think he's talking about Nolan's family. They, I guess, the sheriff's office, haven't had access to Nolan's phone. Well, can't they subpoena that? It's called a subpoena ducis tecum. You're familiar with those. You've testified in court. A subpoena ducis tecum is, we hear about subpoenas for testimony. I've been subpoenaed. Yes, go to court and tell the truth. A subpoena ducis tecum is for an item, an object, a document. The sheriff can give out a subpoena ducis tecum or get a warrant for an object. So you don't have it? Fine, get it. Next. So how can you say I'm quoting, how can you say there's no text message or photo, as a text message or photos missing? Our boys had no reason to do Nolan's phone other than give it back. So seeing anything about missing text or Snapchats completely false. Well, according to the mom, Officer Tatum, she says that there was nothing sent out while Nolan was at Horn Island, which she found very odd. I have no reason to disbelieve her. So how can you say there were missing or there weren't missing? I don't think you can say it either way. Why don't they just get a search warrant and go get the phone? You know what? Forget all that. Officer Tatum, where is Nolan's phone? Do authorities have it?
Well, from my understanding, authorities do not have it, and the family have not been cooperating with authorities to give the phone over. According to the testimony or written statement from the lawyer that represents the family, the Nolan Wells family. He had made mention that he's prepared to cooperate, but they have not cooperated yet, which is very interesting to me. You want to find out what happened to your son. You would think you will be doing everything you can to cooperate. I can't judge her. I don't know what's in their mind, but it just seems to be very off-putting for them not to at least give the phone over and do what exactly they told the world they were going to do. And that is to allow a forensic extraction of his phone. Therefore, the world can see if there is things that have been deleted. I think Tyler Cox is very clear about what he's saying, that the boys had nothing to do with it. So if there is anything missing from the phone, it had nothing to do with them. Now, I'll add this. When you look at what Christine said.
Brandon, whoa, bit. I'm going to go right back to what you're saying, but you're saying a lot, and I want to address each thing so we don't leave anything out. Number one, you just stated that, basically. Correct me, you can paraphrase this any way you want to. It looks really bad for Nolan's family not to hand over the phone. Do you have any independent knowledge they have not handed over the phone?
According to their lawyer that wrote a statement, and the statement was, we're prepared to cooperate, but that was as of the 11th. Therefore, they have not cooperated. Tyler Cox has made mention that he don't believe they cooperated whatsoever. He don't believe they cooperated whatsoever as well. So
extrapolating. You're taking the words, Tatum, that their words that they're prepared to cooperate to mean they haven't handed over the phone. Isn't that true?
I'm putting everything together, right? We have Tyler Cox that's coming out and saying that he has no indication whatsoever they've cooperated. The family has not come out and said that there's any findings. And then also the attorney that represents the family is saying that we haven't sent or gave the phone over, but we're willing to. And that was as of the 11th.
No,
so it appears that there's no indication that.
Brandon, you may very well be a lot smarter than me, but I can hear. Okay. The statement was, we're prepared to cooperate, I guess, from Crump. That does
I'm not
not
sure
mean
if it was.
We have not handed over the phone, but we will.
Well, Nancy, when you put it all, you have to put the totality of circumstance together. I'm not there to be in the room with the investigators to determine, but I'm just going off of what knowledge we have and that's been given to us that's available. And what Tyler Cox is saying, and I'm taking him at his word, he's saying that there's no indication that they've cooperated. The lawyers that represent the family is saying we're prepared, but they did not say that they've cooperated whatsoever. So I'm looking at the statements that are produced, and all of the statements indicate that there has not been a cooperation with the phone being extracted from investigators. Therefore, there is no true determination that things were missing from the phone. Well, I mean, we have no other. We have no other. We have nothing else to go off of.
We're prepared to cooperate. For all I know, that means we'll come in for questioning. We'll let you search his belongings. It
Nancy,
can mean anything. That does not equal we have not handed over the phone. But hey, you know what?
Nancy, it's been weeks.
You say tomato, I say tomato, because it kind of doesn't matter. And I'll tell you why it doesn't matter. Actually, I'll let an expert tell us why it doesn't matter. To Heather Barnhart joining us, digital forensics expert with Celebrite. We learned all about Celebrite during the Alex Murdaugh trial. That's how we got everything off of his dead, murdered son's phone. And the SANS Institute, SANS. She is one of the preeminent digital forensic experts in the country. She helped crack the Brian Kohberger case, and she is co-author of Practical Mobile Forensics, now in its 4th edition. That means that many people have used it. Heather, thank you for being with us. If the phone, I don't care where it is. Okay, actually, I do care where it is. I want to know that it's been handed over. I don't have to have the phone to know what's on the phone if it's in the cloud. It looks like an iPhone to me. So my argument with Officer Tatum is academic. It doesn't matter if I can get it from the cloud. So Nolan's phone missing. So what? I can download it. I can get it.
Data will exist in the cloud if he's syncing to iCloud and third-party applications. However,
question. Nancy just said something that was interesting. She said, it looks like an iPhone to me. Has anybody ever seen the phone? Have we seen pictures of Nolan's phone? Answer in the comments, please. I don't recall. seeing a picture of his phone. So how does Nancy know? But let's keep going.
Having physical access to the phone is where the databases exist that will have the truth on deletion. So you really need to get a full file system extraction of his phone as quickly as possible. So if it's not handed over to authorities now, it needs to be, because this was over a month ago now.
Do you have to have the phone to do the extraction? What about the cloud?
Cloud data is different, and there's a lot of information there. There could be unique information in the cloud that's been removed from the phone, if anything was removed, but it's best to have both cloud and the phone to paint the entire pattern of behavior and to see the truth.
Heather Barnhart, please don't move. Back to Officer Tatum joining us. Tatum, obviously, we want the phone. I think you can download it from the cloud, but she's the expert. She's saying it would help to have the phone. So don't you understand why? And I'm not saying this is true. I don't know that it's true. I don't know that CETO call is real or fake. I don't know. It's murky. Tatum.
There's the change of tone right there, because she had her own producer clean up, enhance the auto, and heard the same things that we heard. She had Janetta Brantley on her show. She 100% believed that call was real, because she confirmed that call was downloaded from the very website. What is it? The WDMR or something like that, or the MDM, something like that. So now she doesn't know if the call is real or fake. Let's keep going.
When I would try cases, especially complicated cases, I would start out the trial with a big jar full of water and silt. And I had it sitting big on my counsel table, day one, right beside my Bible. And in closing arguments, the first thing I would do when I started closing arguments, I'd take that jar and shake it, and it would get very murky. You couldn't see anything. And I'd sit it down on my counsel table, and argument would commence. And by the time I had gone through all the evidence, I'd go over to my table, pick it up, and say, see, it's not muddy anymore. It's crystal clear what happened. My point is, we don't know. So all the haters attacking you, attacking me, attacking the cops, attacking the friends, attacking Nolan's mother, for Pete's sake, we don't know. It's unjustified. Now, to my question. Don't you understand why people are suspicious? Because Nolan's separated from his phone, which no teen does. I get it, why he didn't have it in the water. I get that. I dive, I swim. I just went swimming with the dolphins with my twins. And yes, my phone was on the boat. But then I got it. I didn't let the boat take off without it. So at least you can admit that's why people are curious. I'm curious.
Nancy, I think it's because people are out putting out misinformation, and they don't have the totality of circumstances because they haven't heard from the boys, didn't watch the interview and all of this stuff, and they feel that it's convoluted. It's very straightforward to me and very clear in many areas that the boys are saying they did not have access. Christine, Nolan's mother, is not saying unequivocally that things were deleted. She was surprised that things were not present. Therefore, she insinuated that things may have been deleted. But she did not really say that the phone was deleted. And the fact that they did not communicate with both sides, meaning that I wish that the Nolan Wells family would have communicated with these boys instead of me, would have talked to their lawyers instead of me, then therefore they could have gotten a good perspective. The boys made mention in the interview that I did with them that they told Christine, Nolan's mother, that they had his phone and his keys in their possession. Therefore, she came to get them. They turned them over. They have no access to his codes. They have no reason to delete his phone. They're claiming there's nothing that was deleted. They gave a fair explanation as to why he left the phone on the boat. Nolan wasn't the only individual to leave the phone on the boat. He wasn't the only Black person to leave the phone on the boat. So that, to me, dispels the racial component. He was with them. Multiple boats came out. Traditionally, if you don't leave on a boat you came on, you can leave on another boat. They're all going to the same location. So it's not that bizarre that he left his phone. The phone was returned to Nolan. These are best friends of Nolan. They hang out almost every day.
Hold on just a sec.
He spent the night over their house.
Everything you're saying, but now we're getting to another topic. I hear you, but Tatum, the boat, has the boat been searched by cadaver dogs and scent dogs?
The boat, from my understanding, has not been searched, and the cadaver dogs were made available for Benjamin Crump to utilize them to do a search on the boat. They refused.
No. Okay, real quick. The boat didn't belong to Benjamin Crump. The boat doesn't belong to the Wonsleys. So they cannot make a decision to search a boat. So this is gaslighting. Very fine gaslighting at that. Let's keep going.
Crump is not supposed to use the dogs.
There is no reason to search
everything on Crump.
Listen, Nancy, there's no reason if there's not any evidence of a murder, there's no reason for them to use the cadaver dog. That's how this works.
True.
There's none of these individuals they do not have any expectation that there was any murder that occurred. It's just other people are putting that out to the world. The police department is not investigating the murder.
How do you
These boys are not suspects.
I agree they're not suspects. They're not persons of interest. They're not suspects. They haven't been charged. But
to believe after interviewing
Crump
60 people that he was ever on the boat.
The search of the Triton,
He's not
his boat.
Ordering it. He's not ordering it. The cadaver dogs were made available if he wanted to. No. They made themselves, availed themselves to him and said, would you like us to search the boat?
You just said that about Nolan Wells' mom. You said, I almost hate to do this to you. Almost. Tatum, you just said when Crump says we're available and ready, you meant, well, that's no, they haven't handed over the boat. But now you're saying the friends say our boat's available and ready. And I'm not going to tear you a new one because the law enforcement is the one that needs to go and search the boat.
Nancy,
it ain't rocket science.
The people who had questions about this, because it's definitely not law enforcement, it was Benjamin Crump. They wanted to get to the bottom. They don't trust law enforcement.
There's not a grand jury? This isn't going to grand jury?
I'm saying initially before grand jury.
Because if it's going to grand jury, then there are questions.
Initially before grand jury, when this first started, and Benjamin Crump brought up all of these questions, and they availed themselves to him and said, would you like for us to search the boat? We'll grant the cadaver dogs for you to go and look at the boat. And he refused. And this is why I'm saying it does not appear.
Give authority to search the boat.
He can. The boys are cooperating.
I want you to run over to Tatum's house and sniff the hell out of it. Because
I would say,
house.
come on over. I would say, no. I said, come on over. The cadaver dogs are made available. But then Benjamin Crump said,
okay, for the comment rules, you cannot cuss in my comment section. Please spell them wrong. Please. Thank you. I'm going to delete your comment.
Well, we don't want it. That's the problem here.
Wait a minute.
They are not pursuing like they claim they are.
Say, our boat, come search it. Did the families offer the boat up to search?
Offered boat, phones, whatever investigators needed, whatever the family needed, they made it available. The family did not pursue any avenue to connect with the boys on any level. The boat, to talk about timeline, to communicate with parents, to communicate with lawyers, they have done nothing. And then now we find out that they haven't even given a phone over to law enforcement so they can do an extraction or a forensic investigation.
Well, stop.
That they can see.
You know what? I respect you, but I'm going to have to cut your mic because we have to be clear about something. Hold on. Philip Dubé joining me. He is a veteran trial lawyer, a defense lawyer. He's joining me out of LA. He practices criminal and constitutional law. Dubé, I don't want to hear either a prosecution or a defense side. A citizen cannot force a search on somebody else's boat. So Crump or Mrs. or Nolan's mother, they cannot force a cadaver dog or a scent dog search on the Triton. Law enforcement needs to bring out a cadaver dog and a scent dog. It's just real simple. It's not hard. Do you agree? They are the ones with authority to do that.
Of course, a lot of these thought leaders and crusaders, the thought leaders and the crusaders can all request it and make sure that there's an in-depth, thorough investigation, but they cannot physically and personally initiate it or enforce all the procedures that are necessary to get. One thing they can do, though, is go to the DA's office and ask that it be included as part of the grand jury investigation. Because believe me, Nancy, a grand jury starts investigating and wants all of these materials, including access to the boat, access to the cell phone, it's going to happen. Otherwise, they will suffer the pains of contempt of the grand jury.
Dubé, my point is, Crump, nor Nolan's mother, nor anybody on their team can issue a subpoena or a directive or give permission for somebody else's boat to be searched. So when that was put to Crump, he doesn't have the authority to do that. He's a lawyer. He knows that. And it's not the friend's prerogative either. It's law enforcement needs to go do it.
Correct.
I can't come search your home. That would be trespass.
Correct.
Law enforcement has to do it. That's a yes, no. I don't need a legal discourse. Yes or no?
Yes.
Hi, guys.
Okay.
Grace here.
While she's doing her commercial, I just want to ask everybody to please stay respectful in the comments. Please hit the like button. Please share the live. I don't like commercials, so I do mute them. One thing I got out of this is the family did not agree to hand the phone over. The family agreed to do a joint extraction together of the data from Nolan's phone. So that is the misinformation that's out there. And I'll prove it to you when we get to our next clip. Let's get back into it.
With us, including gavel-to-gavel coverage with real-time analysis. Crime Stories with Nancy Grace. Stream it first on Fox 1. I hope to see you there, and thank you, friend.
Back to Officer Brandon Tatum. He's the star of The Officer Tatum on YouTube. So, Officer Tatum, let me understand. I don't know, and I don't think you know where Nolan Wells' phone is. The family may have it, or it may have been seized or handed over to law enforcement. And if it hasn't, then they, law enforcement, need to issue a warrant for it. It's really not hard. You've executed warrants before, I'm sure. So have I.
Well, you're going to have a reason to get a warrant. And if it's a criminal investigation and they believe that they can find evidence of a crime, if they had access to his phone, I could see them getting a warrant to extract his phone outside of the parent's will. But if you're looking at a potential drowning and there's no criminal element involved and the parents are refusing to give over the phone, they don't believe it's any material evidence there. No, I'm saying this is what the law enforcement agency.
These questions anymore.
Nancy,
I'm
this
not
is what the
saying
law
they're
I'm giving you a law
refusing
enforcement
or-
perspective.
Nobody said Nolan. You know what? We're really chasing our tails here. We don't know that Nolan's family has refused to hand over the phone. My simple question to you is, law enforcement, if they want the phone, get a warrant for the phone. Go get the
They may
phone,
not
or
Nancy, they don't
communicate
want
to the
phone.
family. Give me the phone.
Nancy, there could be two things afoot. I'm not a part of the investigation, but I can see if they haven't gotten the phone yet, it's because they don't need the phone and they don't want the phone. It's not there of evidentiary value if there is no suspect here. If it was a drowning and there's indications of a drowning, they may not need it, Nancy, so they're not going to go get it. If they need it, they would have already had
stop.
it a month ago.
Stop. Okay. Brandon Tatum, are you a medical examiner?
No, I'm not.
Okay. Because what I have been told, and correct me if I'm wrong, don't smile at me. It's not working.
I'm trying.
From what I understand, let's go to the expert. Joe Scott Morgan is joining me, Joseph Scott Morgan, Professor of Forensics, Jacksonville State University, world-class criminal program, author of Blood Beneath My Feet on YouTube, star of a hit series, Body Bags with Joe Scott Morgan, death investigator, over 10,000 death investigations under his belt. Joe Scott, it's my understanding, correct me if you know differently, or Susan Hendricks, Dave Mack, jump in, please, feet first. Both medical examiners have stated to the effect, one says, undetermined now, because we're waiting on, I think, toxicology. We don't know the answer. The second one has said, undetermined cause of death. That's a yes, no. Isn't that true? We don't have a cause of death yet.
That has been made public. No. They said last week.
So
Hang on.
Tatum,
they said last week. They said last week that the autopsy report is complete, which means they have tox, histo, and they've probably got a cause of death.
Okay, but we don't have the cause of death.
We don't. It has not been released yet.
And the second examiner said undetermined.
Yeah, because he didn't have any organs to examine.
Exactly. Officer Tatum, you keep saying it was a drowning. I have responded, are you a medical examiner? You said no. So how do you know what happened other than what you've been told? I don't know what happened. I don't know if he was hit on the head. I don't know if he got drunk and drowned. I don't know. So how do you know?
Nancy, I have to push back on you on this. I did not say it was a drowning. I gave you two options. I said the police could be investigating a crime, and if they're investigating a crime and they have suspects and they need evidence, they will extract the phone with a search warrant against the family's will. If they do not believe that they're investigating a crime that's been committed and it is a drowning, according to them, they may not need the phone. So they're not gonna do a warrant to extract the phone against the family's will. So that's all I'm saying, Nancy. I did not say I know for a fact whichever way it went. I really don't know, and nobody knows except for the people that are investigating.
I heard you.
No, I just made mention that they may be investigating it as a drowning. The initial findings, or at least the initial report that came out. Are you going to make mommy
do a playback? Am I going to have to do a playback?
Nancy, I did not say that it was a drowning. I said that they could have investigated as a drowning or as a suspect involved in a murder. And that's why they would do certain things and not do others.
My point is, Tatum, we don't know the answer. And this is an investigation to find out what happened. And when you have an investigation, you subpoena documents, items, testimony. There's a grand jury set. That means there is an investigation. You know what a grand jury is, right? They investigate. They have two tasks. One, as an investigation arm. Two, as a charging arm. In both cases, they gather evidence. If they find out this was an accidental drowning, so be it. If they find out he had help getting drowned, so be it. Our point here, and with this, I think you agree, is not to harm anyone's reputation, bury somebody unwarrantedly, name the wrong person. I'm not naming anybody. I want to know what happened to Nolan. I don't understand why so many people are upset about that. Speaking of drowning, I'm actually glad you brought that up, Tatum. To Joe Scott Morgan, death investigator, it could be that he did drown, but that does not rule out foul play. It doesn't rule it in. It doesn't rule it out. Explain.
Yeah, you're correct. I mean, drowning, just so you understand, if somebody, say for instance, has a head injury, right, and they fall into a body of water, all right, that can lead to drowning, right? Because they might still be unconscious but capable of breathing. And of course, if you're in a water environment, you're going to be taking on water. I've worked cases where water has actually been weaponized as a means to take someone's life. But I've also worked, Nancy, a lot of cases involving accidental drownings where people fall over the side of boats. I've even had homeless guys that have passed out face down in mud puddles and have drowned. You never can predict how any of this is going to happen. All we can do in the morgue, the medical legal community, is assess what we see at that moment in time. When we're trying to look at the lungs, we're trying to look actually at the inner ear. That's one of the areas that we go to with drowning. And we try to assess the brain as well, because you can have the brain begin to swell in these certain circumstances. So there is a huge recipe that goes into this when you're trying to do a fatal diagnosis here. When you're trying to come up and make this assessment, you want to do it necessarily. I think it's best you try to do this independent of maybe what the police are saying, what friends are saying. You objectively look at the science of what's before you, and then after that, you go back in and factor in some of the circumstantial information.
You're seeing video given to us by Officer Tatum's show. Look at all the people out there. Speaking of witnesses, Joe Scott, you dead on. Thanks, Tatum. Because you know what? Somebody saw something, somebody knows something, and they are not coughing it up. And we're going to keep on until they do. Now, speaking of the friends, as you call them, I have no reason to believe them or disbelieve them. This is what you told me earlier. Back to Officer Tatum, star of The Officer Tatum on YouTube. Have the friends taken polygraphs?
Well, from my understanding, all but I believe one took a polygraph. And from what was told to me, that they all passed. And all of the ones that took a polygraph took one without a lawyer. And they cooperated with law enforcement. So from my understanding, everybody took a polygraph test. Why do you say that's from what you
understand? Did they tell you they took a poly and passed?
Yes, ma'am. They told me that they did it. I wasn't there. So that's what I'm saying from my understanding. They told me that all the boys except one, which is Warren, I believe, took a polygraph test. All of them did not have lawyers and did it and cooperated with police. Warren also cooperated with police. I just believe he didn't take a lot to take the test, but Warren is the young man that I interviewed. So according to what they told me, they all took a lot to take test and passed. And it's an equivalent of a lot to take the test. It's not a traditional lot to take test, but it's the same theology of trying to get to if a person is lying. I don't know the name of it. It's an equivalent of a lot to take the test. It's a different methodology. I don't believe it was a polygraph test. I believe they took other stressors in order to.
Okay, so Officer Tatum just actually told a flat out lie. And as soon as this video is over, I'm going to prove it to you. Stay tuned. Let's keep going.
Analyze if the people were telling the truth or not.
Did they take a polygraph would be no. Officer Tatum, number one, they did not take polys. Number two, Warren, as you refer to him, did not take the voice analysis. Why did he not take a voice analysis? Number one. And number two, since we spoke on this last, have they taken polys? And if not, why not?
Okay, let me just make sure clear, because I think the internet went in a frenzy about this. It's a computer voice stress analysis is what I was referring to. None of this is admissible in court, and I don't think it has the weight to concern anybody or whether or not anyone took it or not. I just thought it was important to show the cooperation that they had with the police. Even more cooperation, I believe, almost than the Nolan family. I mean, the boys have given their phones over to the FBI voluntarily, and we still haven't gotten Nolan's phone from the family to the police. So,
are you back on the phone? Because you don't know. You've already said.
Why did they give their phones over to the FBI? That's the question I have. Is the FBI actively investigating this case, Officer Tatum? And we don't know that because the last that I heard, the FBI was brought in to investigate threats. Let's keep going. They got the wrong person representing them, because he's a liar.
You don't know where the phone is. It could be sitting on the sheriff's desk for all I know.
If they did it in the last 10 minutes, maybe that could be true.
Oh, so you knew before you joined us tonight that Nolan's family had not handed over the phone?
Well, I have no information to believe it was handed over. The last report from their attorneys that they hadn't handed it over.
So that was your quote understanding, just like you had an understanding that they took a poly and then clarified they did not take a poly. Okay. They have not taken a poly. You don't know why Warren hasn't taken a test. And a computer stress test is a voice analysis. It's not the same as a poly. You also, I asked you earlier, are you a medical examiner? And you stated no. I know you're a star on YouTube. I know you have a huge following. I know you're highly popular.
Let me address this comment. Okay. I'm calling him a liar because the next clip I'm going to show you, you will see the attorney, Tyler Cox. You will hear him say that none of them took this test. Only one boy, which is, I believe, Morgan, don't quote me on that. We'll listen to it, took the stress test, and Katie. You stay put. Don't call me a liar. He's the liar. Let's keep going. I'm going to prove it to you.
I know you're a former police officer. Are you a Juris Doctor? Are you a lawyer?
No, I'm not. I've worked with lawyers.
Okay, because polygraphs are admissible in court. Bam! Providing,
well, Nancy, I have
providing
never,
both parties stipulate ahead of time that they will be allowed. I don't care if you've never heard of it.
Nancy is not going to, I don't know of a trial that has happened, from our understanding in recent time, that somebody put a polygraph before a jury and it was effective. I mean, there is a lot of flaws in the polygraph test.
Have you ever heard of, let's see, what was his name? Control room. Oh yeah, O.J. Simpson.
Well, that was a long time ago. I'm saying
in the civil trial and showed he was a big fat liar.
Well, what I'm saying is there has not been significant usage of polygraphs in the court of law because there's too many flaws. Even as a police officer, we don't even use polygraphs anymore. Most police departments use the computer voice stress analysis. And neither one of them,
that's not true.
I would trust. Most police departments do not use the polygraph test anymore. They're moved towards the computer stress analysis. My head of security, when he went to the police department, they used the computer stress analysis. And it's not even foolproof. I mean, I would not trust somebody to use that for anybody's
statements. Did they take a polygraph? In the famous words of the Bard, Shakespeare.
Nancy,
we think the test too much. All I said was, did they take a poly? The answer is no.
They took a voice stress analysis.
Okay. So right now, Nancy's doing her commercial. I would like everyone to please hit the like button. Please share the video. Thank you all for being here with us. Please keep it respectful in the comments. Now, after this clip, I will go and I will show you the clip where the attorney of Jax, Morgan, and Warren spoke to Nancy Grace. Okay? The kids did not take a stress test either. Only one of them did. And Katie, you hear it come from their mouths. So just stay put. Again, if you can please hit the like button, that is appreciated. I don't like commercials, so I always mute them. So what do you all think so far, without arguing in the comments? I would like to know how Nancy knows that Nolan's phone is an iPhone. That is very interesting to me. All right, so let's bring her back up.
To AmericanFinancing.net/Nancy. Disclaimer, NMLS 182334, NMLSconsumeraccess.org, APR for rates in the 5S start at 6.327% for well-qualified borrowers. Call 866-888-0344 for details about credit costs and terms. Go to http://www.americanfinancing.net/Nancy. Average savings are based on borrowers who save over $199.99. And good luck. Joe Scott Morgan explained to Tatum why a voice stress analysis is not the same as a poly. It analyzes your voice. A poly does your heartbeat, your rhythm, your perspiration, your blood pressure, whether you're sweating, your eye blinking, the whole kit and caboodle.
I can address why it's certainly not admissible. Either one of these are not admissible in criminal court. Okay. And that they
Pause
have no
right there. Hold on. Before you take one more step, are you a lawyer and nobody told me? Go ahead, get mad. I don't care. You're not a lawyer. Dubé, you are a lawyer. Dubé, isn't it true that if both parties stipulate ahead of time in a criminal case, which practically never happens, but if they do, that poly is allowed in court?
If the judge deems it relevant, it still has to meet the relevance.
So then, yes, don't go off on me. The answer is yes. We both know the law. It's a yes.
It's a yes. It's a held.
So, okay. So there you go, Morgan and Tatum. I hope you have learned something tonight. That said, Joe Scott, as much as I respect you as a death investigator, don't give me the law. Don't. I'll go to Dubé for that.
I'll give you forensic science. I'll give you forensic science, and I will tell you why neither one of these tests are. Yeah, okay, because they're not quantifiable. If you look at the Fry test, if you look at the Daubert test,
okay, never mind.
You cannot. No.
Stop.
Listen.
Do I need to Google it? Because I will.
I'm trying to give you some truth here
stop.
that has utility.
I asked you
Nancy.
the difference in a voice analysis and a poly. That's the question. Let me refresh your recollection. Do you know the difference?
No, I don't want to know the difference because it has no utility.
Okay, fine. That's all you had to say.
In a criminal
I'll tell you
case.
the difference. Okay. They are admissible if stipulated. A polygraph measures all sorts of data on your body. It is much more reliable than a voice analysis. For all I know, these friends took a voice analysis because it was readily available. I don't know why they did that over a poly. There could be an innocent explanation. They didn't have to do anything, but they did. They did do something, or at least most of them did. That's the question. I want to know, has the boat been searched? I want to know where the phone is. I want to know, have they taken a poly? Is that asking so much? To Tanya Jordan joining us, and Officer Tatum, please jump in if you have a question. If you want to contradict something, I want to know. I want to know the truth. To Tanya Jordan, she's Chief Parent Officer at BART Parental Control. She's the author of Parenting in a Tech World. To Tanya, we were speaking to Heather Barnhart earlier tonight. Could you explain how a snap disappears and whether it can be grabbed back out of the cloud? Same thing with DMs. Same thing with text messages, photos. A lot of teens think because they hit delete, it's gone. It's not.
It's not. And with regards to Snap, if you send a photo or video and the other person hasn't opened it yet, it sits live on Snap's server for up to 30 days. Same with unread texts. Now, if law enforcement sends Snapchat a valid legal request before the message is deleted, Snapchat will freeze that data and hand it over. But if the message was already deleted before the police asked for it, Snapchat apparently cannot retrieve it.
Isn't it true, to Tanya Jordan, that modern technology can prove whether you have deleted anything? There is a digital trail showing if you have deleted photos, text messages, videos, all of that.
Absolutely. So many people don't even realize that on Apple phones, when they go to delete a photo, there's a whole folder in there called deleted photos where they live for at least another 30 days. Your digital trail is so hard to erase. It's why tech experts like myself tell you, when you have old tech that you're no longer using, don't immediately recycle it. Don't throw it away. You've got to give it a water bath to fry every component inside of it, because you can dig up a digital trail very easily, and nothing disappears when you're dealing with technical aspects.
And so to you, Tatum, star of The Officer Tatum, we can find out if the friends are telling the truth. It's not going to be hard. They may be telling the truth. We didn't delete anything. That may be true. So it's a digital investigation, and frankly, it's not hard to do. The friends, who I believe now are your friends after your extensive interviews with them, may be completely exonerated on that. Now, my question to you is, you're stating that the friends, I'm talking about the young men on the Triton, that the friends have handed over their phones.
Yes, ma'am. They've handed on their phones to the FBI voluntarily.
I find that very commendable, because do you know how hard it is to get people to hand over a phone? That's why you have to issue a search warrant or a ducus tecum. So they have handed over their phones voluntarily.
Yes, ma'am. According to the lawyer and according to what they told me, they said they handed over to the FBI voluntarily. And the sad part is that I wish that Nolan's phone could be evaluated, because there have been claims that had not been substantiated. And I believe that the claims should have never gone out in the public unless they were substantiated, that there was a potential that things were deleted from his phone, which put these young boys in a bad position unnecessarily. It's not fair to say that you're throwing out that things were deleted, but obviously mom can't determine if they were deleted because she couldn't do a forensic investigation on the phone. So she really don't know, which I'm not
Unless
knocking
she
her as her
looked in the
baby.
deleted file and found things.
Well, she was within Nancy,
deleted file and found things, and we don't know
and
that.
she would have told.
I agree with you. I
But
think
Nancy,
you
she
got
would have
me
told the
wrong. I
world.
think you got it backwards, Tatum. Nobody.
She would have told the
on Crime
world
Stories.
if she would have found. She would have told the world, Nancy, if she would have found certain things that were actually deleted. She would have come out. I'm sure Benjamin Crump would have come out, and I would commend her to come out and encourage her to. If she saw that a picture of Nolan was deleted, a text from Nolan was deleted specifically talking about or inferencing certain things. If any of those things had happened, I would guarantee it should be criminal if they would not turn it over to law enforcement, so law enforcement can evaluate the phone and see if there were individuals communicating or deleting communication, because that is a crime. We just seen that happen in Texas, where young boys, there's a young man that drowned, they go and delete stuff off his phone, throw his clothes in the water, and they were arrested for tampering with evidence. And so if there had been deletions on the phone, even if there hadn't been a determination that anyone had murdered Nolan, tampering with evidence or deleting evidence, potential evidence, is a crime. And so the fact that the family, from my understanding and what the lawyers have said, that they haven't given this information over to law enforcement for them to evaluate, it's very troubling to me.
Why is it troubling to you? They agreed to do a joint extraction of the data. They never agreed to hand over the phone to law enforcement. They have sent out subpoenas to Snapchat, to everyone, to get the data that they need for this joint extraction. So you're gaslighting. Let's keep going.
Okay, again, for the millionth time, you don't know they haven't. And I don't know that they have. But what you're saying about tampering with evidence is absolutely true. But I have no reason to believe that Nolan Wells' family has tampered with evidence. That said, I think you've got things backwards. I do not want to convict or hang an innocent person. All I want to know is what happened. And I haven't even gotten to the Cito call. Is it real? Is it fake? I'd like somebody, i.e. you, if you have the original, to put it out there. But that's it. What? Don't go off on that. Susan Hendricks joining us. Susan Hendricks is a veteran investigative journalist. She's the author of the bestseller Down the Hill, my descent into the double murder in Delphi. She exhaustively researched and investigated the double murder of 2 little girls and came to the truth. Susan Hendricks, you've heard all of the evidence that we've got tonight, and there's so much more we haven't gotten to. I want to hear where things stand now. Is there a grand jury? Is there going to be a grand jury? Where is the phone? Was the boat searched? Just enlighten me in any way that you can, Susan Hendricks.
There is a grand jury. They are investigating. You mentioned Delphi. There's hints of this to me, meaning it's being tried in the court of public opinion. And it's troubling to me that we talk about the mom and we don't know that she didn't hand over the phone. So now she has to go on defense. And as Officer Tatum said, the boat has not been searched by cadaver dogs. So we know that. Grand jury is investigating, and the parents have to suffer through this. And also, all attorneys have to say is, I don't think it's my understanding that she didn't hand over the phone. She wants to know what happened to her son. She wants to know, why wouldn't she hand over the phone? It's just obscene that she has to suffer through this even more.
Well, you hit the nail on the head right there, and you answered a very serious and critical question, and that is, there is a grand jury. Everything Tatum is saying and everything I'm saying, you know that phrase in the Bible, Tatum? We are now looking through a mirror darkly. We're looking through a very murky, grimy glass because we don't know. You are saying one thing. I'm questioning that because we don't know. And in the middle of it all, we have got a dead body of Nolan Wells. I don't want to get tangled up in arguments and vitriol that detracts from finding the truth. And I don't take anybody at face value. I don't suspect anybody, and I suspect everybody. I can't tell who's telling the truth, but we will, God help us, find out what happened to this young man. If you know, or you think you know anything, please dial 228-769-3063 tonight. We remember American hero Sergeant Kyle Roberts.
Okay, so that is the end of that clip. What do you all think? I mean, I think that we got a little gaslighting going on. We definitely got some lies. I'm getting ready to bring up the interview that the attorney, it looks like Tyler Cox and attorney Posnick did with Nancy Grace. And you will hear Tyler Cox tell Nancy Grace that those kids, those boys didn't take the stress test. Only one of them did, and Katie. So let's pull that up. If I can get everybody to please hit the like button while I am pulling up that video, that would be great. Thank you for your patience. And again, thank you for joining us. So let's get right into it.
Tonight, the investigation into the Nolan Wells death bombshell. Joining us tonight, Nolan's friends, lawyers fight back. Who's telling the truth? They think they know, but do they? I'm Nancy Grace. This is Crime Stories. I want to thank you for being with
us. Smart, Daphne.
There's a big honking mark, subcutaneous, deep reddening tissue on his occipital. If I hit somebody in the back of the head, it'd be right there.
There was no indication that there was any kind of contusions on the hand, the arm, no kind of defensive event.
Back to Officer Tatum, star of The Officer Tatum on YouTube. Have the friends taken polygraphs?
Well, from my understanding, all but I believe one took a polygraph. And from what
was told to me that they all passed. And all of the ones that took a polygraph took one without a lawyer. And they cooperated with law enforcement. So
I'm going to need you, sir, to stay respectful in the comments. You got one more time to call anybody in this chat a name, and I'm going to put your ass up out of here. Please believe me, Brandon. So fast. Let's keep going. Tired of you guys.
from my understanding, everybody took a polygraph test.
Why do you say that's from what you understand? Did they tell you they took a poly and passed?
Yes, ma'am. They told me that they did it. I wasn't there. So that's what I'm saying from my understanding. They told me that all the boys except one, which is Warren, I believe, took a polygraph test. All of them did not have lawyers and did it and cooperated with police. Warren also cooperated with police. I just believe he didn't take a lot to take the test, but Warren is the young man that I interviewed. So according to what they told me, they all took a lie detector test and passed. And it's an equivalent of a lie detector test. It's not a traditional lie detector test, but it's the same theology of trying to get to if a person is lying. I don't know the name of it. It's an equivalent of a lie detector test. It's a different methodology. I don't believe it was a polygraph test. I believe they took other stressors in order to analyze if
so
people
then
were telling the truth or not.
Did they take a polygraph would be no. That is Officer Tatum from The Officer Tatum on YouTube. Joining us tonight are two very special guests. They are convinced of the friends, and when I say quoties, I don't mean they are or they're not friends, because I don't know. The young men on the Triton boat that took Nolan Wells to Horn Island. Many argue he was on the boat on the return when foul play occurred. Many argue he was not. In fact, the timeline has blown up because there are reports that Nolan Wells was seen on the island after the friend's boat left, which would exonerate them. Is that true? I don't know, and I'm trying to find out. For me, nobody's guilty and everybody's a suspect because we don't know the truth yet, but we will. Joining us tonight, Tyler Cox, the lawyer for several of the young men with the law firm Taylor and Cox, him being the Cox. Also with us, another veteran trial lawyer, Edward Pulsick, attorney for the boys as well. Actually, they're not boys. They're adults in the eyes of the law due to their age. Gentlemen, thank you for being with us tonight. My first question to clear up this matter, have your clients taken polygraphs? First to you, Tyler Cox.
Nancy, my clients have not taken a polygraph test. And I can tell you why. Because any lawyer worth their salt is going to tell their clients not to take a polygraph test under any circumstances. Two of my clients went in and made statements with me. We're not going to make So
there you have it. My clients did not take a polygraph test. Isn't that what Tyler Cox just said? He would never let any of his clients take a polygraph. So who's lying? Officer Brandon Tatum. Oh, okay. Thank you. Let's keep going. I just wanted you to hear it for yourself.
Not going to do a polygraph test because, one, as you know, they're not admissible in court. And so it wasn't going to be admissible anyway. You should never, ever, if you're a lawyer, allow your clients to take a polygraph test. Now, we allowed investigators from the jump to have access to their phones, their Life 360, everything. We have cooperated implicitly every step of the way. But no, they didn't take polygraph tests. But what I'll tell you is one of the other boys, who I won't mention their name, but I'm sure that you've heard, took one. The girl that Nolan.
Y'all hear that? So the people that are in here calling me a liar, did you just hear him say one of the other boys took the stressor test? Just one. And then the girl that was with Nolan, which is Katie. But none of the other boys took that test. So why is Brandon Tatum lying? Let's keep going. But I just had to, correct the record because that's what we do on this channel. Let's go.
Took a stress analysis voice test, and so did the other boy. So that's the test they took. Both of them passed. And so, again, no lawyer worth of salt is going to tell his clients to take a polygraph test or anything like that.
I would like to corroborate part of what Tyler Cox just said. Any defense attorney, whether they're truly convinced their client is innocent or guilty, they're not going to allow a poly. I've never seen that. I've had a couple of lawyers, maybe 3, in all the years I practiced, all the people I put behind bars, consent before trial to a poly. 3. And they were all criminal cases that carried severe penalties. So what he's saying is true. Even if you think your client is innocent, very rarely will you see a defense lawyer say, sure, take a poly. However, I disagree with you regarding their admittance into court. Polygraphs are allowed in civil trials. O.J. Simpson, he flunked horribly. And if both sides stipulate to the polygraph's admittance before the polygraph is taken,
this is true,
it can come into a criminal trial. The reality is that never happens. That never happens.
Right. At the time that we first cooperated with police, the first very week, the days after, just 1 to 2 days after the disappearance of Nolan Wells, we're not thinking about a civil suit.
You guys hear that? See, somebody else came in here and told me and said that the attorneys were hired after Nolan's body was found. Did you hear Tyler Cox where he says went missing 1 to 2 days after he went missing? He was found on the second day. That means that he was hired prior to being found. So do me a favor. Don't ever come to my channel and call me a liar because I'm going to check you. So let's set the record. That's what he said. Let me rewind it so you can hear it again for yourself.
They're not going to allow a poly. I've never seen that. I've had a couple of lawyers, maybe 3, in all the years I practiced, all the people I put behind bars, consent before trial to a poly.
I'm sorry.
3. And they were all criminal cases that carried severe penalties. So what he's saying is true. Even if you think your client is innocent, very rarely will you see a defense lawyer say, sure, take a poly. However, I disagree with you regarding their admittance into court. Polygraphs are allowed in civil trials. O.J. Simpson, he flunked horribly. And if both sides stipulate to the polygraph's admittance before the polygraph is taken, it can come into a criminal trial. The reality is that never happens. That never happens.
Right. At the time that we first cooperated with police, the first very week, the days after, 1 to 2 days after the disappearance of Nolan Wells, we're not thinking about a civil suit. We're not thinking about that. We're thinking about how can we provide as much information to authorities so that they can find Nolan Wells. And it was not until after we spoke to officers and investigators that Nolan, unfortunately, his body was found on Horn Island, washed up. And it's unfortunate. And I hate that for Nolan because by all accounts, he was an incredible person. He was just truly remarkable.
One more time.
Polygraph's admittance
Wait a minute, hold on.
before the
I want you to hear that
that never
Tyler
happens.
Cox said
That
one
never
more time.
Right.
When
At the
they were
time
hired,
that we first cooperated with police, the first very week, the days after, 1 to 2 days after the disappearance of Nolan Wells, we're not thinking about a civil suit. We're not thinking about that. We're thinking about how can we provide as much information to authorities so that they can find Nolan Wells. And it was not until...
You hear that? You hear that? He's saying he was hired prior to the body being found. Did you guys hear that? They wanted to provide as much as information as possible so they can find Nolan Wells. So they hired the attorney the very next day, according to Tyler Cox. Explain that. Do me a favor. I'm going to keep going, but you want me to rewind again? I got you. Hold on. Listen very closely to what he said.
Horribly. And if both sides stipulate to the polygraph's admittance before the polygraph is taken, it can come into a criminal trial. The reality is that never happens. That never happens.
Right. At the time that we first cooperated with police, the first very week, the days after, just 1 to 2 days after the disappearance of Nolan Wells, we're not thinking about a civil suit. We're not thinking about that. We're thinking about how can we provide as much information to authorities so that they can find Nolan Wells. And it was not until...
You hear that? So they can find Nolan Wells, okay? I'm not going to replay it again. The Truth Gang knows what I'm talking about. We hear very well. We hear very well. That's exactly what he said. Let's just continue with this.
After we spoke to officers and investigators, that Nolan, unfortunately, his body was found on Horn Island, washed up.
After they spoke with investigators, Nolan's body was unfortunately found. So please tell me why you hired a lawyer prior to Nolan even being found.
And it's unfortunate, and I hate that for Nolan, because by all accounts he was an incredible person. He was just truly remarkable in almost every sense of the word. But I mean, we're not thinking about a civil suit at that point in time. We're trying to help authorities find our friend, who we can't find either.
Edward Pulsick joining us, in addition to Tyler Cox, both of them veteran trial lawyers. He is with Taylor Dykema. Edward, how did you get involved in this case?
Well, I'd rather not talk about that. I can just tell you this. I can tell you that it was through a friend of a friend.
You're kidding, right? You're kidding me. Because when you tell me I'd rather not answer.
Well, I want to
that's
protect
just
the names that
igniting me to find out how
Well,
you
hold
got
on.
involved in the case.
Well, hold on. I can tell you a little bit more. I can tell you this. I can tell you a close friend who knows the Ocean Springs, Mississippi community very, very well, is from the area, connected me to a friend of his. And then I found myself speaking to Tyler here, and Tyler and I instantly became very close friends. We both have blue pickup trucks, so now we're the Blues Brothers. We just became very close. We hit it off. Then I had the opportunity to speak to Warren, speak to Morgan, speak to Jax, and we hit it off also. And I immediately realized these are incredibly fine young men. I realized right away I wanted to help them out.
Ed, to you and Tyler, I'm not saying they have lied, and I'm not saying they haven't lied. I don't know. I have no reason to disbelieve your clients or to believe them. You do know that people can look you right in the face and lie through your teeth, and you believe them. I've done it. I've had witnesses that I found out were lying to me, and it was a huge blow. I've had police officers. I worked a child trafficking case. My first child trafficking case. Worked it. I finally found the little girl. I went into a room full of sex workers. They went, she's in there. I'm like, there's no child in there. They went, she's the one in the white boots. She looked like she was 38 years old. She's 14. That said, we won the case. But fast forward about 10 months later, I was walking through the grand jury room and I saw these horrible federal court sketches. I'm like, oh my stars. Is that who I think it is? It was my vice cops. They had been stealing from dopers and they got indicted by the feds. And I had been out on the street with them every day for months trying to prove a child trafficking case. So just because somebody tells you the sky is blue does not mean the sky is blue. You do know that, right?
Agreed.
Well, I can tell you this: they were off Horn Island at 4:30 p.m. on July 4th, and Nolan Wells was seen alive.
Now we're getting somewhere. How can you prove that to me other than them telling you? I assume you've got GPS tracking and the call to CTO.
We have witnesses among other things, but I can also tell you this: they were off the island at 4:30 p.m. and Nolan Wells was seen alive by multiple people.
Prove it.
At 6 p.m. still on the island. And I'm sure Tyler.
Okay, so let me just chime in real quick. He said Nolan Wells was seen by multiple people. Okay, so they have two witnesses that know each other, that had time to talk to each other. We all know on this channel that witnesses can be paid off. Not saying that that's what happened, but we know the possibility. So these two witnesses out of thousands of people and hundreds of boats that know each other is what they're going to hang this on. Let's keep going. Diabolical.
Would be happy to elaborate on that, but this is a no doubt 100%.
Please tell me, Tyler,
yes.
because I don't believe any of these people and I don't disbelieve any of these people. I want to hear about witnesses that spotted him alive after 4:30 because I believe I can confirm the boat left around 4:30, and I'm referring to the Triton. That's the boat they were on.
So,
there are a lot of boats. Let's see the video of all the boats out there. So when I say Triton, I'm talking about the boat Nolan was on the way to the island. There's a lot of boats out there and a lot of witnesses too. This is from the Officer Tatum. Okay. There are witnesses placing him there at 6. And I want to be very clear, gentlemen, that I'm not convinced he drowned just because somebody said so. Even if he did drown, that does not mean that there wasn't foul play. Why is that mark on the back of his head? Was he hit on the head and fell in the water? Was he held under the water? Was it an accident? I don't know. But I am very interested in witnesses that place him alive at 6 p.m. Please tell me, Tyler Cox.
So, Nancy, look, we have had multiple witnesses reach out to us, 2 confirmed witnesses.
Okay. Can we all agree that multiple witnesses is more than just 2? Just say 2. Quit saying, gaslighting the world, saying multiple, like you have dozens. Okay, 2. Let's keep going. You got 2 that I don't believe. I'm just saying, it's my opinion.
That saw Nolan Wells on the island around 6 p.m. on July 4th. Well after the Triton, as you said, left around 4:30. And so those witnesses have went to investigators, they've talked to the police, and they've done what they're supposed to do. We've cooperated 100%. So has
Where did they
those
see
witnesses.
him, Tyler Cox? Where did the witnesses see them? Do they know him well enough to make a positive ID? Hey, speaking of a positive ID, control room, please pull up a photo that we showed a couple of days ago. There are 2 or 3 women, white females, walking along the beach, as I recall, each clad in a bikini. There is one, I believe, a white male and one black male walking with them. That can you zoom in a little bit? That's not really helping me that much. For instance, did your witnesses know Nolan? Can they identify him? Because I'm looking right at this and I cannot identify if the male behind the female on the white, the female wearing a white hat, I can't tell if that's Nolan or not. It's a very blurry photo. I can't make it out. So, do your witnesses know him? I mean, let me see my guess, please. Mr. Paltzik, Mr. Cox, I know the 2 of you. I don't see both of them. There they are. The 2 of you have tried a lot of cases, as have I, to get in or attack an eyewitness. And it's in the
Okay, so everybody that's in the comment talking about multiple is more than one. We're not dumb. We know that. But you do not use the word multiple when it's only 2. You say a couple or you say 2. Stop being an idiot. I just might put you out just for being a damn idiot. Let's keep going.
Code, the official code of Mississippi annotated. There are prescribed methods under which you cross-examine an eyewitness. For instance, does the witness know the target? Was the lighting sufficient? How far away was the witness? What were the conditions of the eyewitness identification? Was the eyewitness inebriated or high or otherwise incapacitated? How far away were they? Do they wear glasses? It goes on and on and on. It's laid out in the code. Tell me about these witnesses. How do they know it was Nolan? Hey, control room, show me that picture of Nolan on the boat. He's bent over. All I can see are his legs and his behind.
All right, let's take a look at who they're saying is Nolan. Okay, light blue shorts, right? Yes, that's Nolan. We know that. We've seen another picture of the color of his shorts. Now, the picture that they're trying to say is Nolan, these witnesses or whatever, or whoever's, is trying to convince the world is Nolan, has on navy blue dark shorts. That is not Nolan Wells, and we all know that. Let's keep going.
The only reason I think that's Nolan because it matches his swimsuit. Did they see that? How can they identify Nolan? First to you, Tyler.
Well, I'm not sure if the witnesses saw that picture that you just put on screen, but I can confirm to you that these witnesses know Nolan. They've known him for a long time. They were able to make a positive ID. And
these witnesses know Nolan. So if these witnesses know Nolan, and according to your own words, Tyler, have known Nolan for a long time, then these witnesses know those boys, aka grown ass men. You will have to corroborate their statements with video, timestamp, or photos, timestamp of Nolan Wells on that island after 4:31 p.m. We're not getting ready to just take an eyewitness, 2 of them, account out of thousands of witnesses on the island. Make it make sense. Let's keep going. Make it make sense. Because right now it doesn't.
They told that to investigators. They told them that from the very start.
Had they been drinking?
That I do not know.
How are they sure it was 6 o'clock? Look, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm asking the questions I would ask in court. How do they know it was 6 o'clock? Did they go, oh, there's Nolan Wells at 6 p.m.?
Well, I'm pretty sure, Nancy, they were aware of the time. I'm not sure if they were drinking or not, but they're the ones that came forward to police and investigators, and that's their story to tell. What I'm telling you is they made a positive ID on Nolan Wells around 6 o'clock, and they told that to investigators, all while our clients were off the island around 4:30. So we have positive identification on Nolan on the island an hour and a half after our clients left. So, as you know from your experience as a prosecutor, they can't do 2 things at once. They can't be on the island at 6 o'clock and be on the boat going off the island at 4:30. So, that's where we are. Our clients have nothing to do with the death of Nolan Wells. We don't know how he died. We want to know. Please tell us. Somebody. We want to know just as much as anyone else. Our clients loved Nolan Wells. They were brothers to Nolan Wells.
I want to bring your attention to this bottle of Verdict bourbon that is on the table. I want you to know that the owner of Verdict bourbon is Brandon Tatum. So they're all in cahoots with this. Let's keep going.
I've still yet to hear one bad thing about Nolan Wells. He was a good Ocean Springs kid. Just as Chuck Bourdie says all the time in the courtroom, these are good Ocean Springs people. So Nolan was a good Ocean Springs person too. They love Nolan. We want to know. Will someone
just
please
stop right there,
tell us?
Tyler. Tyler, I've got 1 hour. and nobody's running for miscongeniality. Let's just let it be noted, judicial notice, they were all good. Everybody's good. Okay. Tyler.
Yes.
The witnesses that came forward, here's something that would tend to corroborate them is if multiple witnesses said the same thing. Witnesses separated in time and space, witnesses that are not all friends, witnesses that are not good friends with your clients, that may have a reason to be fuzzy on the time. I'm not saying they are or that they're not. Here's my question to you. Are these witnesses friends of your clients?
I don't think they're friends, and they're not even the same age.
Okay. Next question. How many witnesses place him?
Okay, so you don't believe they're friends because they're not even the same age. You just stated that the witnesses knew Nolan very well. But now you're trying to distance the witnesses away from the grown-ass men that were, with Nolan, saying, oh, they're not even the same age. I don't think they knew Nolan. I mean, not Nolan, but those boys, because they're not even the same age. I see the play. I don't believe those witnesses. You're going to have to show me something different. Let's keep going, guys.
I'm there on the island at 6-ish.
At least 2 that I know.
2. Do the witnesses know each other?
Yes.
Were they together that day?
Yes.
Have they had a chance to discuss their recollections with each other before they came to police?
Well, I'm sure they did. Nancy, look, they did what they were supposed to do, and they spoke to police officers. And you know as well as I do that if investigators or a DA's office had any sort of probable cause to make an arrest in a case like this, they would have.
Or they may be gathering evidence to make sure they've got all the evidence that there is. I mean, I would wait until I had all the evidence, including a completed autopsy. You know what? I'm going to jump ahead. But regarding the body, regarding Nolan's body, we've heard all sorts of inflammatory things. But the one thing that, well, many things are very interesting and probative. For instance, why was Nolan's neck of so much interest to the original medical examiner that it was removed? His foot wasn't removed. His toe wasn't removed. His ear wasn't removed. Why his neck? The lungs and the neck were removed, which obviously Edward touches on COD, cause of death. I understand why the medical examiner took his lungs. He had to run tests on them to determine, did he drown? Of course, all 3 of us know you can drown and there still be foul play. Somebody whacked you on the head. If somebody held you underwater, it could be any number of things, or it could be an innocent drowning. But why the throat? What was curious about the throat, Ed? Were there marks on the throat? Was there a ligature mark? Was there manual strangulation? Was there a compression? Were there bruises? Were there scratches? I don't know. Was a hyoid missing? I could go on, but I won't. Do either of you know what was of interest to the medical examiner in the removal of Nolan's throat?
I'll tell you this. Listen, we're not coroners. We're not medical examiners. We want to know what happened to him just as much as everyone else. Quite frankly, more. Because Nolan was their best friend. Warren, Morgan, Jax, Nolan was their best friend. We want to know what happened. We haven't examined Nolan's body. We're not scientists.
I just thought maybe you had been somehow told why they took his throat. Okay, that's a no. We don't know why they took his throat.
Yeah, we don't want to speculate.
Let me start with an open-ended question to you, gentlemen. I started with, why haven't they taken a polygraph? I want to hear what your clients are saying happened that day, because my interest is piqued because you stated a young lady, and I assume this is Katie, the mysterious Katie, who turns out not to be that mysterious at all. Much was made of that. Now, one thing about Katie, originally one or some of your clients said he was with some girl, we don't know her. Then it turned out they had been texting with her. So they did know her. There may be an innocent explanation for that or not. So explain to me, who were they talking about when they said he was with a girl, we don't know her? He had never met her before, but yet they were texting with Katie, the girl he had been with. I'll throw that to you, Tyler. Do you know the answer to that?
Sure. So they didn't know Katie, and they believe that Nolan didn't know Katie before that day. But you have to remember, once they started getting suspicious that Nolan wasn't with them anymore, they start asking themselves, okay, well, where's Nolan? They start texting everyone that they knew. Hey, have you seen Nolan?
Okay, so let's stop there right there real quick. They say that they don't know Katie. You'll hear the attorney say the boys don't know Katie. So how did they get her number to text her? If they didn't know Katie, how did they get her number to text her? These are just questions, not accusations. Let's keep going.
Do you know where Nolan is? Did he make it back home? All before they called Christine Wells that night, they start asking everybody. And so eventually they end up getting, through mutual friends, whoever, Katie's number. And so I believe it was maybe Snapchat or text message. They got in communication with Katie. And Katie says, I don't know. We thought he was leaving with y'all. Well, I don't believe that's the case, obviously, because he did not leave with our boys. We don't know what happened to him, but that's Katie's statement. That's how they got a hold of Katie's numbers, because they're frantically trying to find out what happened to Nolan.
What's your take on it, Ed? Because I think he's saying they did know Katie. I couldn't tell if he said did or didn't. Did he say they all did know Katie?
No, they did not.
They didn't know Katie. All right. And they determined who she was. Okay. Right. Hey, hold on. Tyler, you stated your clients began to get suspicious, whereas Nolan. When did they get suspicious?
It was later that night. I believe it was around 9 or 10 o'clock, maybe even 11, that they start saying, oh, well, has anyone seen Nolan? Where's Nolan? Did he make it back home? Does anybody know? They start calling around, texting, asking everybody. And once they determined that no one had the answer about where Nolan was, that's when they called Christine Wells. And then they stay on the phone. My client stayed on the phone with Christine Wells for about 5 or 6 minutes. And then he tells her, look, I'm going to call the Coast Guard just to make sure. And he did. He stays on the phone with the Coast Guard for 21 minutes.
Okay. Ed Pulsick, also veteran trial lawyer. Ed, do you concur with that explanation of why they first said, I don't know her, we don't know her, he didn't know her, and then we find out that they had actually been texting with Katie? What's your understanding of that? Again, I had my favorite trial judge, Luther Alverson, would tell every jury, it is your duty to make all witnesses speak the truth. What does that mean? To reconcile the different seemingly conflicting stories to make everyone be telling the truth and impugn perjury on no one. So maybe there's an explanation for this. Why did they say, we don't know her, and then they're texting her? So they did know her.
They did.
That characterization, they didn't say that. There's no contradiction. I can just tell you this. They didn't know her. Nolan was with her much of the day.
This is the smuck attorney that's running around doing a PR campaign threatening and intimidating all content creators. I just really don't like you, Edward Palsy. So let's keep going. Don't like him. His whole persona is just out of order. Let's keep going.
And he was still on the island when they left. He apparently spent much of the day with this young lady. That seems to be what happened. But no, there was this young lady was not part of their friend group. That's right.
Okay, so when they say they didn't know her, but yet they were texting her, they did know her name.
Well, I don't know if I agree with that characterization. Yeah, the
well,
premise,
enlighten me. I want to know.
Flawed. Yeah, the premise is flawed. She's not part of their friend group. They don't know her. I can tell you that it does appear, once again, it appears that Nolan was with this young lady for much of the day. That does seem to be confirmed by many witnesses. And I can tell you this, Nancy, one thing.
Why does he keep saying many witnesses? It's two. It's a couple. You're gaslighting people.
About this island, I did have the opportunity to go to Horn Island. And when you go to the island, everything starts to make sense. The first picture was maybe not so accurate. If you go to the part of Horn Island where, these events all occurred, you see that there are really no trees on that part of the island. It's flat, it's open. There are no visual obstructions. So there's no trees, there's no shelter, there's no nothing. And it was broad daylight with thousands of people there, meaning there was no opportunity for foul play during daylight hours. And that's where this whole thing starts to unravel.
Ed,
you have to go to the island.
Please,
you have to go to the
island. There's opportunity for foul play. He could have been walked on the head on a boat and pushed over.
I'm telling you, not in this environment.
It doesn't have to be on the beach. It could be anywhere.
You got to understand, it's a 10-mile long barrier island, but it's only a few hundred yards wide in most places. There's nowhere to hide.
Let me see the video and show it to Ed and Tyler. The video of all those boats. Anything could have happened between those boats. Anything.
Well, but
even
an
accident could happen between those boats. And so many people are drunk. I don't think they're paying attention.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing, right? We could always say anything is possible. An asteroid could strike right now. But I am telling you that there are a lot of people who have talked about this case and have said things that are not true, and they haven't been to the island. They've got to go to the island. If you don't go to the island, you can't speak with authority about the case. And I won't name names, but a lot of people who have hurt these fine young men and have defamed them, they've never visited the island. And I'm willing to bet that they've never visited the islands. Look at it right there.
They are not victims. They are not victims. Say it with me. They are not victims. Them grown-ass men are not victims. Let's keep going. I just had to get that out. It's ticking me off. It was like, making me all icky inside.
That shot you have right there. Broad daylight with thousands of people there. The picture speaks for itself.
I agree with what you're saying. I agree that it would be nearly impossible for foul play to take place on that beach. Again, I direct your attention to the gathering of boats with the boats closely together. Everybody's drinking. Nobody's paying attention. Like, I can't tell what's going on between the boats at a distance. I don't know. I don't know what's happening in the water. I don't know. That
I can tell you this.
I agree. I don't think anything happened out in the plain view on the beach, but there are other alternatives.
I want to add, though, we have a difference of opinion. When I see that video of the boats in the water there, that also is not a good place to get away with murder. Now, we have been very careful. We have refrained from speculation. We have refrained from guessing, and we're going to continue to do that. However, plain view of that scene, the beach, the boats, the water, that is not a secretive environment. It just isn't.
I agree the beach is not secretive, and I also agree the whole island is not secretive because there's really nowhere to hide there anyway. Guys, let me move to the boat, the Triton. Has the boat been searched by authorities?
I do not believe that it has been searched by authorities, but it's been available to authorities this entire time. If authorities wanted to come see it, they're more than able to, and have been.
Okay, I find that very interesting, Tyler, and I'll tell you why. In so many cases that I've prosecuted and covered and investigated, you see defendants, targets, trying to get rid of evidence. You see them cleaning the boat. You see them washing it down. You see them trying all sorts of methods to get rid of evidence. It's interesting to me and somewhat probative that your clients have offered the boat up to law enforcement and search it. I'm curious, has the boat not just been searched with the naked eye? Has luminol been used on the boat? Has alternative light sources been used on the boat? Has a cadaver dog come to the boat? Has a scent dog come to the boat? To your knowledge, either one of you.
To my knowledge, Nancy, I do not believe that has happened. But again, my 3 clients, either one of them, none of them own that boat. So if it has, you would have to ask the owners.
Tyler, do I look like I just fell off the turnip truck? Maybe I do, because we did sell turnips at the farmer's market when I was growing up. That said, you telling me my clients don't own the boat, so you'd have to ask the owner. Come on. You and Paulsick know if the boat has been searched. You know if cadaver dogs or scent dogs, luminol or alternative light has been used on the boat. Can you just tell me? Yes, no. It's not your client's fault. It's law enforcement's fault if they haven't done it.
If authorities thought that there was something to find on that boat, don't you think this far out they would have already done it?
I would think in the ordinary course of an investigation into potential foul play, I would have gone out there and done it. Just
That's if you believe there was potential foul play.
Just to say, I searched it and it was clean. I didn't find any blood.
Well, Nancy,
Cadaver
you're
dog
asking a
didn't
valid.
hit.
Hold on, you're asking a valid question. You're just asking the wrong people. That's a question for law enforcement.
To your knowledge, has it been searched? Have you been told by anyone that it was searched?
I don't have
I have
any
not been told
involvement
that,
with the
no.
law enforcement. I don't have any involvement in the investigation.
I'm
We're
gonna take
conducting
that
our
as
own
a no.
investigation. You can take it how you want. We're conducting our own investigation.
Attention.
Okay, I'm gonna skip through the commercial, but he's a smuck. I do not like, what's his name? Edward Paulsick. I do not like him. He's like a bully. And he thinks he's all that. Let me get back to it.
Cox, the lawyer for several of the young men. Also with us, Edward Paulsick, attorney for the boys as well. Tell me what you can about the CTO call. I've had renowned experts say, this wasn't doctored. I've had renowned experts say, this was totally doctored. Have you heard the original CTO call from Mississippi Department Marine Resources? Have either of you listened to that call? Because I've heard it so many times, I'm now jaded based on what people think they're hearing, based on enhancements. I even had my own producer, who does not have a dog in this fight, no skin in the game, enhance it. But I want to hear what you guys know about the CTO call. My mind is open.
Look, anybody can adjust the gain. Anybody can enhance it or sweeten it. But it doesn't change the fact that just because you put words over some audio means that those words are now attributable to what is on the call. Look, another boy called Cito. We have video that was released of Brandon Tatum. He posted it, and it shows who all was on the boat. At no point in time does this Cito call ever, not once, where you find any sort of mention of Nolan being on the boat, of something happening to Nolan. I cannot state clearly enough, Nolan was not on the boat when it departed around 4:30. Look, the video that you're showing now, does anyone look like, and look, there's the boy that's on the Cito call right there. Does anyone look like there's a body on the boat or something had just happened? Look, Nancy, you were a prosecutor for a long time. None of these boys have a story that is untrue. Don't you think that after all this time, somebody would have snitched? That somebody wouldn't be able to keep their story straight? No. Look, these boys are telling the truth.
Typically, you're absolutely right. That's why I usually don't believe in conspiracies, because nobody can keep their yap shut. Somebody blabs.
And Nancy, now I'll say something about the CETO call. I have heard a lot of versions of the CETO call, and most of them are either completely fake or AI or doctored. And unfortunately, for folks that are doing that, that may become the subject of one or more lawsuits. It appears that there are hundreds of versions of the CETO call all over the internet, everywhere online. So now nobody can keep track of it. But I can tell you look at those photos. Nolan Wells is not on that boat.
The photos to me are very convincing. Let's see the photo they're talking about again.
Yes, I'm glad we agree about that.
Do I know what time that was or what day that was? Is there a timestamp? Look, I'm not saying either of you are lying. I'm saying this is how I would test evidence in court. I mean, I take everything with a box of salt. When was that taken? Where was it taken? What time was it taken?
Yeah.
I'm curious. Is it timestamp?
And Nancy, you've been trying this case for over 30 days. The facts are the facts are the facts. These boys had nothing to do with the death of Nolan Wells.
Okay, so the facts are not the facts just because you say they are the facts, Tyler. Okay, can you talk about that liquor that's on your table right there? That that I don't know. Officer Tatum owns that company. Can you tell us a little bit about that? Anyway, it's a fact. It's not a fact just because you say it's a fact. And let's keep going, guys.
Timestamp on that video,
Nancy. I'm going to answer it this way.
Yes.
We don't think that you're accusing us of lying. We don't feel that way. We're just simply saying this. And it's okay. You're asking legitimate investigative questions. And we don't fault you for that. But here's what we're saying. It's been over 30 days. There has never been one shred, one iota, one piece, nothing. There is no evidence that ties Warren, Morgan, or Jax to any crime because they did not commit a crime. They had nothing whatsoever to do. Right.
And again, what's timestamp on that video?
But that's not our burden. See, that's the problem. You're putting this burden on us. All right. There's never been one piece of evidence.
You did that to yourself, Paul, when you said, here's the boat that day and he's not on it. That may very well be true. That may be absolutely true. And I'm saying, when was the video taken?
Well, no,
metadata, Edward. Metadata. That's all you have to do. Is release the metadata that shows the timestamp. We're not taking your word for it. You have to prove these things. Again, a fact is not a fact just because you say it's a fact. Metadata will make it a fact. Let's keep going.
I'm telling you
around 4:30, July 4th.
Yeah. And I'm telling you another thing, Nancy. We have multiple witnesses, and we're going to protect their names on the air here. We're not going to air out a private list of witnesses. We are. We're going to protect them. So I want to emphasize that as well. The witnesses that we're talking about, we're not going to do that to them. We're not going to name them here on the air. We're not doing that.
I'm not asking you to.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like you are.
I'm asking you again when the timestamp is on that video. But if you don't know, I'm not saying that that's wrong or right.
Well,
ma'am, see, this is an idiot comment right here. I mean, I'm sick of shit like this. Stop coming to this channel because you too crazy and stupid to be on my channel. Okay? Where's the metadata? There is no timestamp on the video. If there was a timestamp on it, Nancy Grace would not be asking for it. LDGR 6151. Come on. You don't belong here because you don't even understand this mediocre shit. Let's keep going. Ridiculous.
I'm saying I want to know to corroborate that video.
I understand that, but that's not a relevant question for your present guest since we didn't make the video. But I can tell you this.
Okay. Well, you showed me the video, and that's why I'm asking. Okay, let me ask you something else.
Yeah, we didn't show you.
You state that your clients
go ahead.
Know of witnesses, or you know of witnesses that placed Nolan at Horn Island alive at 6 p.m.
Yes. Yes. 100%.
All of this aside, has the boat been searched? Where is Nolan's phone? Where are your clients' phone? All that is superseded by the fact that there may be witnesses placing him alive on the island at 6 p.m. And everything else disappears from me if that is true, because I know your clients were gone at 4:30-ish.
Yes.
Have these witnesses been questioned by law enforcement? Do you know?
Yes. Yes.
Look at this smuck with this Carl Cox hat on. You're just a smuck. Sue me for saying that. Let's keep going.
Yes.
Don't like him.
You're sure?
Yes. Yes. And I'll tell you another thing. One other thing. There's a corollary. Nancy, there's a corollary. So there are witnesses who can place Nolan Wells on the island at 6 p.m. There are also witnesses who can confirm that Warren, Morgan, and Jax left the island around 4:30. So both sides are covered. We've got it covered.
Well, for me, it's not that simple, because I still don't know what happened to Nolan Wells. However,
neither do we.
I believe that the GPS, which really cannot be controverted, shows when the Triton left, witness or no witness. I've got that. Now, who's on the boat? I believe that video is going to tell me who's on the boat. But all that, the overarching issue was he alive at 6 p.m.? This is where I'm going.
And Nancy,
I don't
can I say
care
one
who
thing?
was with him last. I don't care if it exonerates or convicts anybody. I just want to know the truth.
And it's good to ask,
Sir?
and I want to say this, it's good to ask tough questions. These are all valid questions, but what we're trying to do for you is simplify it. 4:30 and 6 p.m. End of story.
I want to believe you. Ed. But just because somebody says so, don't make it so. And I'm trying to prove it. That your clients were gone and that Nolan, more importantly, in my mind, was still alive. If that's true, your clients are in the clear. As far as I'm concerned.
They are in the clear.
And the CETO call and everything else falls away if I can place him alive at 6 p.m. And the people that want to hang your clients, I can't help their unrequited anger.
Yes.
I don't care, because somebody in my mind was the last person to see Nolan Wells alive, whether it's your clients or somebody else. And I want to find that person that saw this. You say 6 o'clock. Who are they? Make yourselves known. Put us all out of our misery. Help me find out what happened to Nolan.
Yes.
Nancy, can I
I
ask you this?
understand. I'm just trying to find out. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Why in the world would these witnesses make themselves public after you've seen more than 30 days of death threats, in-person threats, credible threats, people making threats and getting arrested, all geared towards these boys and others? Why would they become public? Why would they
here's
come
one
out
answer.
public?
One answer is they're telling the truth and they want to put it out there. Another possibility
the truth to
is
investigators.
Everybody already knew who they were, so they went out on Tatum to exonerate themselves. I mean, that could go either way. But I see what you're saying. I get it.
And Nancy,
I still don't know.
have you ever seen any other people accused of the crimes that online internet trolls have accused these boys of go and do podcasts, do interviews, have their attorneys go and advocate for them like this on a national platform like this? If we weren't 100% sure and they weren't 100% sure that nothing they did was in connection to Nolan Wells' death. They left the island at 4:30. He was spotted on the island after that at 6, alive and well. That's it. End of story. Do you think these are actions of 3 boys who, 1, keep their story straight, 2, don't snitch on each other, and 3, have made and had to have made to defend themselves multiple media appearances and have their attorneys do the same? Are those the actions of someone who is guilty? No.
Yes, it is.
Typically, no, I agree with you. But there are cases where killers go out in the front of it and make all sorts of pleas. Please bring my wife home. Please bring my little
But
babies
Nancy,
home.
we
So
don't-
yes,
let
I
me give
have
you a
seen
really-
that. I know that's not what you want to
We have
hear,
to.
but yes, I have seen it.
Right. And Nancy,
Me neither.
Nancy, let me give you a really important point here. And by the way, I appreciate some of the things you're saying. And let me just say this. This might be the most important thing. Look, we have a lot of humility. Warren, Morgan, and Jax have a lot of humility. One of the things that we knew when we were going to come on with you is we know you're going to ask us tough questions. We know you're going to ask us tough questions. And we're happy to answer them as best we can. But one thing we've been very consistent about, there are so many things we don't know, right? We won't be able to answer all of your tough questions. And the reason we can't is because we just don't know the answer to a lot of them. But we do know what we know. We know they were off that island at 4:30. We know Nolan was on the island at 6. We just want to emphasize our humility in that regard because we just don't know and we would love to know. We want to know.
I got one question for Mr. Edward Paulzik. How much did you pay them? Allegedly, in my opinion, how much did you pay them? That you're so confident that you know that Nolan was on the island at 6 o'clock. 2 people out of thousands are the only ones that seen Nolan on the island at 6 p.m. How much was the bill? Let's keep going.
How this tragedy happened as much as anyone, more than anyone.
I want both of you gentlemen to understand something. If I thought I had convicted the wrong person, I couldn't live with myself. I personally investigated every case I ever tried and put before a jury. I do not want the wrong person, an innocent person, to suffer claims and allegations, much less go to jail. But I do want the right person, if there is a right person.
Right. If there is.
Which leads me to, I want to believe you and I want to believe your clients. But for me, everything is what can I prove? What can I prove? They say so what? Prove it to me. Let me ask you this. Do you know where Nolan's phone is? Anybody? Can
Today?
anybody tell me where Nolan's phone is?
Good question.
Right now, as we sit here today.
Has it ever been turned over to authorities?
No, it has not.
You're sure?
Yeah. I believe that Ben Crump, using local counsel, sent a letter out just last night, gave it to Don Lemon on his show, and Don Lemon on his show confirmed that they have not given the phone to investigators.
Well, that's on investigators because they need to get the phone and they need to look at it.
How are they going to get it if they don't give it to them?
Warrant? Subpoena Dukas
Based on
Teakum? Grand
what?
jury subpoena Dukas Teakum?
Sure, but it hasn't been to the grand
Nolan's
jury
phone?
yet. Hasn't been to the grand jury
There
yet.
is. Are you telling me you don't think a grand jury is convening on this?
I think they are. I don't think they have
Yep.
looked at
Well, you
the
said how do you get the phone?
Stuttering. He just admitted that the case hasn't been to the grand jury yet. And then he starts stuttering because Nancy caught him. Listen to it again. So why is it not with the grand jury? You guys are trying to stall this out and think that we're going to forget it. Truth Gang will never forget it. You know how long we talked about Kendrick Johnson? Months, and we still talk about him. Or we're going to call his name. Let's listen to that again. He said he hasn't been to the grand jury. So what are we doing? Let's keep going.
Everything is what can I prove? What can I prove? They say so what? Prove it to me. Let me ask you this. Do you know where Nolan's phone is? Anybody? Can
Today?
anybody tell me where Nolan's phone is?
Good question.
Right now, as we sit here today.
Has it ever been turned over to authorities?
No, it has not.
You're sure?
Yeah. I believe that Ben Crump, using local counsel, sent a letter out just last night, gave it to Don Lemon on his show, and Don Lemon on his show confirmed that they have not given the phone to investigate.
Well, that's on investigators because they need to get the phone and they need to look at it.
How are they going to get it if they don't give it to them?
Warrant? Subpoena Dukas Teakum? Grand jury subpoena Dukas Teakum?
Sure, but it hasn't been to the grand jury
phone
yet. Hasn't been to the grand jury yet.
Are you telling me you don't think a grand jury is convening on this?
I think they are. I don't think they have.
Yeah, he started stuttering. So the person that I just banned, who tried to call me an idiot, because I said the same thing that Nancy just said. What do you mean it hasn't been to the grand jury yet? Because you guys have been telling the public that the case is with the grand jury. Let's keep going. Don't insult me, because I'll ban your ass with the quickness I don't give a damn, okay? Shut up. Be respectful, or you'll get put out of here. Period.
Well, you said, how do you get the phone? You obviously get the phone. Police go say, hey, can we look at the phone? And they go, sure, here it is. That's one way.
Well,
or you're investigating a potential crime. You get a warrant and you go, hey, give me the phone. Here's the warrant. That's two ways. Or you get a grand jury or a judge's order. There's all sorts of ways to get that phone.
Well, Nancy,
you could
Nancy,
just ask and they hand it over.
Yeah, Nancy,
why didn't they give it to
why
him?
has the Nancy, why? Yeah, why? Why is that phone hasn't been turned over? Why? Why?
Why would the DA's office need to get a warrant?
But I think it should be, and I think it should be asked for. Look, I am not stirring the Nolan Wells phone pot with you. I got bigger fish to fry with you two gentlemen. I'm just curious. I mean, wouldn't that put a lot to bed if we could look at the phone and look at the GPS tracker on it, look at the route? I mean, look,
yeah,
I know where my twins are right now because they got Live 360. Yay.
Nancy,
why can't we look at that? I mean,
Nancy, we want more evidence. Let's get it all. That's the thing. That's the beauty of it. When you're telling the truth and you're representing three innocent young men, the beauty of it is you want more evidence.
We gave our phones up. We let them do a phone dump of our phones.
Which I find very, very interesting. Because a phone dump, everybody shows where the phone's been, what time it was there. It's not hard to do. It pings off phone cell towers, and you can tell as it progresses along. Not hard. Easy. And I find that probative because it will tell me when the boys went to Horn Island, the young men, and when they returned. It's better than an eyewitness to me. Tyler, what else do you have to add?
Nancy, we have told you, we've told everyone we could, we've shouted it from the rooftops. The same story over and over again. There's no other way to say it. It's like banging our heads against the wall because nobody, at least in the online atmosphere, will listen to it. We've said the same thing over and over and over again. We can't say it any other different way. That's the truth. The truth is what it is.
Okay, so
hi guys, Nancy Grace here. Finance searched by law enforcement submitting to polygraph. Look, I truly believe that submitting to polygraphs or having the boat searched by law enforcement with scent dogs and cadaver dogs and luminol would go a long way to stopping the speculation. But again, all that aside, if I could speak to or hear from those witnesses placing Nolan alive at 6 after your clients had left the island, I feel that the investigation would take a different turn. In any event, we do not want to pile on any individuals suffering if they are in fact innocent. That's not what I want. I want the truth, as I believe you do too.
Well, of course I do. I'll be happy to reach out to them and at least ask them. Best I can do.
That said, gentlemen, I appreciate you coming on with us, and I invite you back to answer even more questions.
Thank you, Nancy.
Cox and Pulsick have been in court today throughout the day on another matter and have joined us here and answered a lot of questions and didn't answer a lot of questions they say they don't know the answer to. And they could very well be telling the truth. So when will we know the truth? And my burning question at this hour is, if those witnesses are telling the truth, that Nolan Wells was alive at 6 p.m., how did he die? Who was the last person with him? And why tonight, 1 month later, do we not know the truth of what happened to Nolan Wells? If you know or think you know anything regarding this case, and I implore the FBI to enter the investigation, dial 228-769-3063. Repeat, 228-769-3063. There is a $125,000 reward for information leading to the truth of what happened to Nolan Wells. I also implore you, please, we can take the trolling online, don't care, but the death threats, no. To anybody, let the law unfold as it should. We remember an American hero, Chief William Rosen.
So that is the end of that video. So I played that video just to debunk several trolls that were in the chat who were claiming that I was lying when I said that the attorneys of the boys, or the grown-ass men, said that they didn't take any distressors or polygraphs. And also just to, prove to you that the attorneys were hired the next day prior to Nolan Wells' body being discovered. All right. So our next clip, and I want to thank everybody for the gifts. If you became a member, thank you. Super chats or whatever, thank you so much. You are greatly appreciated. I certainly don't want you to give anything to the channel that God has not put on your heart to give to the channel. Now, what I want to play again right now, we watched it this morning, but I want to play the video, the part 3 of the interview of the grown-ass men with Officer Tatum. Because I want you guys to personally see how they have suddenly tried on a PR campaign to become the victim when they have their life. They're not the victim. But I want you to see it, and I want you to analyze what I think, in my opinion, allegedly are lies. Let's get into it. Thank you for your patience. I'm pulling it up now. Is it this one? Here we are.
Like I said, lights up a room when he walks in it, but no, I'm not joking. It's like an understatement. No joke. I mean, he's great, dude. Most genuine guy I've ever met in my life. Nolan would always be at our houses, stay at our houses, and for his parents to come out and say, "Oh, well, we don't know these boys." Well, then does that mean you don't know where your kid's staying at night? Because he was staying at our houses.
As far as the investigation is concerned, did you guys give your phones over to investigators? All right, we have Morgan, Jax, and Warren here. Now that I got you guys all here, what I want to do, and I want the audience to be able to have an opportunity to hear some of the things that have been put out there cleared up. You guys know better than anybody else what happened. I only had, from the perspective of Warren last time, and now that you guys are here, I want to get the full perspective so that people can know what happened and they can judge for themselves. And the first thing I want to start with is your relationship with Nolan. What was y'all's relationship like? I'm sure, jump in however you feel, but there has been talks on social media that you guys are fake friends of Nolan. You weren't really his friend. Can you explain that to me and the audience?
Yeah. I mean, I don't think I don't care what anyone says about my relationship with someone else. I know my relationship with Nolan. Nolan knew his relationship with me. I know who my best friend is, and he knew that too. I mean, he knew our relationship. But so basically, like, no one can tell me how I feel about someone or how someone felt about me, especially someone who's gone now. I mean, Nolan knew the relationship we had, but describing Nolan, like, that man was the funniest dude ever.
Always
like,
had a smile on his face.
Always.
I mean,
dude. Like,
if you needed to laugh, I think Nolan would be the only person, one of the only people I would call.
Man, I ain't ever seen him like mad, dude.
He was the peacemaker of our
was.
friend group. I mean, anytime anybody had beef over somebody, over a girl or whatever, he would go over there and start talking to him. He's like, man, I think this guy's actually pretty cool.
Yeah, this guy's
I think we should become friends with this guy.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, we would somehow become friends with the dude, even though he's getting with one of our other buddies' exes or whatever. But yeah, he was awesome.
Yeah, Nolan's great. Like, I'm serious, like, most
Great
genuine
kid.
guy ever.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, lights up a room when he walks in it, but like, no, I'm not joking.
Jokes. It's like an understatement.
No jokes.
I mean, he's great, dude. Like, most genuine guy I've ever met in my life. And like, I know when people like, you know, I've seen like when people pass a lot, everybody says good things, obviously. And, you know, this isn't just me like being respectful to Nolan. Like, dude, that was like one of the best guys I've ever met. Man.
I've only ever seen him mad once. Literally once. That's it. One time. And it was over something stupid. Yeah. But that was the only time I've ever seen him mad. Other than that, he was always smiling or trying to figure out what we're doing that night or whatever. And then again, like, our relationship really started around, would you say, like, freshman year high school? Like,
well, I was a little closer with him before y'all because, like, obviously, like I told Brandon last time, like 8th grade COVID year is when Nolan and I like really started hanging out, and then we all started hanging out going into high school. But man, that dude's funny. Life of the party. Like, had so much fun. Like, we had so much fun together. Like, even going up to like Starkville where Morgan goes to school, and like just every
freshman Destin.
It was fun. Yeah, dude, it's fun. He's awesome. Great.
And so there was a conversation that we had, Warren, last time about you not going or ever being at his house, and people took that as if you weren't his friend. Can you guys describe what engagement did you have with Nolan at his house, with his parents, him with your parents? Like, how did all that circulate?
Well, like Jack said, like, he used to pick up Nolan every day. I used to pick up Nolan every day. My buddy Wyatt used to pick up Nolan. Like, literally would pick. We didn't make Nolan drive anywhere.
That's how much we loved him, bro.
Like,
we just always wanted to be there.
That's how much, like, everybody knows this too. Like, Nolan didn't drive. Like, especially, at least in our friend group. Because
Nolan didn't drive, but his dad had to come and get the car from Morgan's house, I believe. Wait a minute. Nolan didn't drive, but he left his keys and his car was there. You guys are not making sense to me. Let's keep going.
Nolan, we always pick Nolan up, regardless of where it was. Like, literally on July 3rd, Nolan rode with me and like rode with me to Wyatt's because we had to get parts for a boat. But anyway, just for, you know, it's crazy that like, I think it's kind of sad that like people, I have some friends of mine that I'm very, very close with, and I just don't know their parents. You know, we're grown men. You don't have to know someone's parents to be close with them. And for someone's like, for, you know, them to come out and be like, oh, well, y'all aren't friends with somebody. Well, how are you going to tell me like my relationship with somebody else? You know, it's crazy. Like, they've said this all about us, like, oh, we're fake friends. Well, that's really horrible to say, because if you go look on every social media post on Nolan's Instagram or Facebook or anything else, the only people in it are us and his football guys. Like that's just so real. Every time Nolan's in Starkville, he's with us. Every time Nolan's anywhere, not even just Starkville, but anywhere.
Oh yeah, we went on countless vacations and
prom, homecoming, everything. Nolan's with us because we were his friends. It's not that hard to understand. I mean, I don't have to prove this to anybody, but that's the truth. I don't have to prove my friendship. And these guys feel the same way. We don't have to prove our friendship with Nolan, but I know it's right.
Yeah. So was Nolan around your family then?
Yeah. Nolan was always around our houses. I mean, I can even say this. Nolan and Wyatt's dad had a secret friendship that we weren't even in.
Yeah, they were like best friends.
We would go over to Wyatt's house, and Nolan, we would all be in the backyard, whatever, doing something, and Nolan would be inside on the couch with Wyatt's dad, and they would just be cutting it up all night.
Yeah, watching movies together. Like
Scarface is their favorite movie.
Yeah.
They'd watch Scarface
all the time.
But it really shows you like the effect like all this has had on everybody, not including just our friend group, but like our friends' parents and my parents. Like our friends were really, and families were really close with Nolan. And I mean, this has been a horrible tragedy, not just for us, but for our families and friends too. My mom knew Nolan because she used to drive us from Waffle House to school once a week. My stepdad knew Nolan because he used to drive us, my dad, everybody. Like,
and he would always come to the house too all the time.
And not just that, but like I'm talking about like from a young age, like from 8th grade. But Nolan would always be at our house to stay at our houses. And for his parents to come out and say, oh, well, we don't know these boys. Well, then does that mean you don't know where your kid's staying at night? Because he was staying at our houses. So
sorry to interrupt. I know you're enjoying this incredible interview. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe that day on the 4th. Based on what I know from the interview we had and some of the things that Nolan has spent the night and then at your house, and then you guys got up, you went out. Was this the first time you guys went to Horn Island, or you guys used to do this every year? Or
so we've probably been to Horn Island this year alone 3 times with Nolan. And then the previous year we went to Horn Island, Nolan was with us out there then. And every time we go out to Horn Island, usually Nolan's with us. And every single year for the 4th of July, when we go out there, Nolan's with us. I mean, this is a tradition. I mean, everybody waits all year for Horn Island, 4th of July. Like, that is the place to be. That is a party all day. And it is literally right up all of our alleys. Like, that's what we want to do all day. Like, that's the funnest day of the year. And
I'm glad that he said all day. So my question, Brandon Tatum, is why didn't you ask them, well, if you guys, the tradition is to celebrate it all day on Horns Island, why did you leave at 4:31 p.m. that day? That should have been the follow-up question, but it wasn't. Let's keep going.
Yeah. I mean, Nolan was with us 2 weeks prior to the 4th of July at Horn Island with no one out there. If we had any intention to hurt Nolan at the island, why would we do it on the 4th of July with thousands of people out there? I mean, it's pretty clear. We literally all went out there for my buddy's birthday, and Nolan was with a whole group of people like we were with on the 4th. So, I mean, that's
and it was on like a Wednesday.
It's not like
Nobody
this
was
is
out
it's
there,
not like this is just like a random like occasion. No, we do this all the time.
Yeah.
And not even just Horn Island, but Nolan's on the boat with us all the time. We all go on the boat. We all do things together like this. So
I want to get to some pointed questions about the phone situation, because I think last time, Warren, when you and I talked or spoke, you weren't at the house when the phone was recovered. So I want to figure this out. Explain to me, because a lot of people are still online saying that they find it to be incredibly suspicious that Nolan left his phone. Can you explain, did Nolan ask you for his phone back when you guys were leaving? Was it not a part of the conversation? Was Nolan the only person that left his phone on the boat? Can you guys walk me through that idea?
So I can go ahead first and say, nobody has their phone in the water. Even when you jump in a pool, do you have your phone? Like, no, you don't. You're not going to bring your electronic in the water. So what everybody does is they stick their phones on the dash of the boat and they forget about it because you don't have good service. You can't even send a picture through from Horn Island to like somebody else. And so they put it on the phone. And even as teenagers, we don't really get on them. We go out there and we conversate and we see a bunch of people that we usually don't see on a day-to-day basis that we graduated high school with, guys that graduated before us. You know, it's a big meeting, like seeing all your friends that you haven't seen in a while. And so whenever we were coming back in, he didn't even think about grabbing his phone. He never asked about his phone, along with 5 other people that also left their phones on the boat. And we had to wait at the boat launch for them to come and pick them up, including Javon. I mean, Javon left his phone on our boat.
Yeah, Javon is one of the guys in the friend group.
Yeah.
if I'm not mistaken.
Javon's a friend of mine, friend of ours, like not as tight as Nolan. Javon's in the class under me in school, and he's a friend of mine. But just like a lot of our other friends, Javon's our friend. He left the phone on the boat because we're trustworthy people. We're not going to steal something. We're not going to delete pictures off of someone's phone. We're not going to delete text messages. We're not going to get on anyone's phone because we have no reason to. But Javon left his phone, and we gave Javon his phone back along with everybody else who left their phone on the boat. So
yeah, we'll get to that because I think I have the timeline in my mind. So you guys, the boat is taking in water. You had already left, Morgan, right? You had already left on a boat. So there's 3 boats. You had already left about 5 minutes before this situation happened. The last 2 boats was Bart's boat and Wyatt's boat.
So my question is, if Morgan had already left, why is Morgan here? If he was gone, why is Morgan on the panel right now? Why isn't Bart or Wyatt or some other people that were on those 2 boats on this panel? What's the purpose of Morgan being here? I just got questions. Let's keep going.
Those are the 2 boats that left out because Bart was kind of towing Wyatt's boat out. So you guys are on the boat. What was the conversation with Nolan? Because Nolan obviously had come in on Wyatt's boat. You guys are all getting ready to leave. So what was the communication like with Nolan?
So actually Wyatt was saying, told Nolan, because Nolan's with this girl at this point. They're together. Wyatt looked at Nolan. He was like, dude, come on. Boat's taking on water. We got to go, like right now. And Nolan didn't want to go. He said he wanted to stay with the girl. And Wyatt started.
And for the ones who keep putting in the comments, just hear me out. They left because their boat was sinking. No, they said that it's a tradition to stay there all day. Did you hear where he said that Morgan's boat left 5 minutes prior? Something happened. I'm not saying what it is. I don't know what it is. But something happened because Morgan left 5 minutes prior to them. Why did Bart's boat and Morgan's boat have to leave? Because Wyatt's boat was sinking. See, do you see how that doesn't make sense? That doesn't make sense at all. Let's keep going.
I mean, he's like, Nolan, get on the boat now. And Nolan's like, no. And then finally, Wyatt's like, Nolan, get on the effing boat right now. We are leaving right now. And Nolan said he had another ride back, and we had no more time to waste. We got to get the boat out of there before it goes under.
And it was that. And when Nolan said that, like, was there an issue that you believe that Nolan would be able to get back, or were you concerned? So
what I can say is, I've been out countless times on one boat to Horn Island and came back on another. I've done it before where I went out on one boat and my friends left, and I just know so many people out there. I didn't even think about, do I have a ride already set up? I just know so many people out there that I'm like, okay, there's 100% sure I can find a ride back, and which I have before, you know? And it's one of those things where it's at Horn Island, you don't even have to know somebody to ask for a ride back in. They're going to bring you in. You know, it's not like, oh, are they going to bring me in or are they not? Should I ask? No, if you ask anybody out there, 100%, they'll bring you back.
Southern hospitality.
Yeah, the boating,
South Mississippi.
I mean, we had somebody.
The boating community. So
why didn't Nolan come home? If that's the case, if that's the fact, why didn't Nolan Wells make it back home? Make it make sense.
Tight knit. Like, it doesn't matter like who you are. If someone sees you struggling on the island, no matter the case, they will come and help you. They will do anything in their power to help you and bring you back to the mainland.
I'll put another example out there. We know another kid who was pretty intoxicated out there, and he couldn't find his boat. And he asked somebody random that he didn't even know if he could catch a ride back with them. And they were like, yeah, got him on the boat, called his parents, told them the situation was going on, and then took him back on inshore.
And that happened this time, or is
4th of July? This
4th of July.
Current 4th.
Did you hear what he just said? To the ones that are claiming there's no service on the island, this young man, Jax, said on the 4th of July that he called his parents, told them what was going on, and they took him back to the mainland. On the island. He was on the island when he called his parents. Let's keep going.
So you guys you leave. Nolan is there. I'm based on what you're telling me, I'm perceiving that you guys are accepting that Nolan's going to get a ride back somewhere else. Y'all taking on water. Explain to the audience, what is this sinking boat thing like? Because I think that people are in good faith, the ones who are acting in good faith are genuinely curious of like, are you sinking? Do you think you're going to sink? Because you hear Wyatt on the phone and he's like, we're sinking, we're going down. And obviously you never went down. So can you explain what he was saying about going down? Was there a little bit of water? Was he just panicking more than normal? Or like, what was that? And I want you to explain too, like, what happened to the boat? How did you recover the boat? And how did you get back to the mainland?
So I'm going to go ahead and first off explain a boat. So a bilge pump is in the bilge. The bilge is underneath the deck where you stand in the very bottom of the boat. And there's a space in there where you have all your electronics, your batteries, everything that controls everything throughout the whole boat. So the first thing that fills up on a boat when it starts to sink is the bilge. And it goes in the bilge and it starts filling up. Well, then the bilge pump kicks on, senses the water automatically, and starts pumping it out. In this situation, the bilge pump had a malfunction. It didn't kick on. And it got all the way to the very top of the bilge, which is the floor level. And then we started to see the boat actually sag down in the water, and we're like, okay, what's going on? So there's a cap in the back of the boat that you can unscrew and look inside the bilge. When we unscrewed it, there's so much water in the boat, it started overflowing onto the deck. And so at this point, we're like, okay, this boat's going down. It's going down quick. We don't know where the water's coming in from. We don't know what's going on. And we just go into full on like panic mode, get this thing out of here now. So we hook up the boats.
No, call Cito.
Okay.
Let's get to that part. Because you called Cito first?
No.
Or you had the boats hooked up first?
We had the boats hooked up first.
Yeah. Okay.
So we hook up the boats and we start towing them out. And he's on the phone with Cito. Because, hold on, let me go back a second. The electronics completely glitched out. Nothing is working on the boat. There's so much water in there.
Question for you, Jax. If the electronics totally glitched out, like you just stated, sir, why didn't Wyatt say that on the Cito call? Why didn't Wyatt accept the Coast Guard's help? Why did Wyatt's grandfather call the captain and tell him don't come? If the electricity on your boat was not working, why is this the first time we're hearing of this? Why? It's because we heard Nolan don't die, but now you're going to try to deflect and gaslight us into believing somebody said the battery don't die or the battery's dead. We know what you're doing. We see the play. We just don't believe you. Sorry.
Nothing is working.
The batteries are also...
The batteries are completely underwater. Like they're yeah. Everything's fried, basically. So we have it connected, kind of towing them out. And he's on the phone with Cito, and he's trying to get them on the phone. And as he stated in the moment, he's like, Cito's just asking all these dumb questions. I can't figure out what's going on. And so finally hangs up. And after the trim to the motor started to work again. So they manually trim it down by the buttons on the motor, trimmed it down, and some electronics started to come back on. And they got the boat to crank over. And they're like, all right, untie us, because if you can get a boat on plane, the suction of the water going underneath it will actually pull all the water out of the bilge if you have the plug out. So say you have the plug out and it's sitting, the boat will sink. If you have the plug out and you're running, all the water will rush out the back of the boat.
When you say on plane, you mean like it has to be going fast enough to be up on top of the water?
Yep.
Or
so on
that?
plane is you're up, you're running, you're out of the water. Basically, there's
your bows on plane.
Yeah. So you're up out of the water running.
Yep.
So where are you guys at when this happens? As far as from Horn Island to the mainland, where are you guys at in between there?
So we're probably a mile and a half off of Horn. I'd say, a mile off
Well,
Horn.
from the start where the Cito call was, we were probably about a quarter mile off the island. Like you could see, it's visible in the picture that you posted that Wyatt is on the Cito call, and it's that video of the boat panning, of the video of the boat getting panned, and you can see everybody in the boat. If you look in the background, the island's right there. So I mean, going back to like what you said earlier, if we killed somebody or hurt somebody, the whole island is literally not even a quarter of a mile away to see, with hundreds of boats lined up on the island. So that's really all I had to say about that.
Yeah. So we
were about a quarter mile out.
So we were about a quarter mile out, whatever. So they pull the plug out the back of the boat. They have the motor running and everything like that, and they go to take off. So the boat's having trouble trying to get up, and it's slowly coming up because the weight of the water. Finally, it planes off, and the water gets sucked out the back, and they're full speed running. And then after that, I didn't see them anymore. I think you were on the boat. You start from there.
Yeah. So after we planed off, Wyatt kept the boat pinned the whole way in. We ran into the mouth of Fort Bayou, where we came from originally, and we turned into Fort Bayou, went in the channel, ran probably 500, 600 yards into Fort Bayou. Wyatt had jumped out of the boat, put the plug back in the boat, so access water. So water didn't keep pushing and filling the boat up. So then we turned around, and Wyatt brought the boat to the dock, and that's when I had gotten out and got back in the car. And I didn't drive. A buddy of mine drove me, and we went back to Jax's house.
Okay, so I just want to make this very clear and abundantly clear for the audience. Are you saying that the video that I posted, which is like a 3-second loop, now I have a lot more of the video, but to not expose people that have nothing to do with this, I only posted the smaller part, the 3-second part. Are you saying during that time, a portion of that, Wyatt was on the phone with Cito, so a portion of that is the Cito call, and that Nolan is not on that boat?
Correct.
And that video that's out there is a representation of who was on the boat during that Cito call.
Correct.
So I want to jump back to something real quick, because I was on the island and the reception was bad. I left my phone on the boat when I got out and went in the water. But people are saying online that how can you make a Cito call if the reception is so bad on the island? Because before you said the reception wasn't really good enough to even send a picture message to somebody else. So how is this call being made if the reception is not as good?
I mean, if you listen to the call back, I mean, there's areas in the call where it's splotchy. It's not direct. Like, it's not like you're sitting from me to you talking to the person on the phone. I mean, you're obviously out on the water. I mean, you can hear it in the Cito call.
And so when it comes to the reception, because I didn't look at my phone one time on the way out to Horn Island. I mean, it was a beautiful ride.
Of course, because you're not thinking about it.
Yeah, I'm not even thinking. I'm looking at how beautiful this water is. Right. We were having fun on the boat. We were playing music, some of Nolan's favorite songs.
Yeah.
So I wasn't thinking about my phone. So I wasn't checking reception. Now, is the reception recover at some point between Horn and the mainland? Or is it terrible reception while you're over the water until you get to the mainland?
No, I mean, as soon as you get off the island coming in shore.
Yeah, but there's really like no definite way to tell where the reception comes in, because I mean it's all satellite. I mean,
yeah,
it's different I've gotten service 80 miles offshore, like off of a satellite coming to a oil rig.
Yeah,
and I connected to it from the rig. But like,
it just depends.
I could go to a Horn Island and not have any service. I could go there and have service. I mean, I think it's truly different, like every time.
So is it fair to say the service on Horn Island is super spotty?
Yes. Yeah.
And it was just almost by chance, in part, that the call was successful to call Cito. Okay.
Yeah, partly, yeah.
And I want to get to that picture, because I think a lot of people are confused about the picture. You guys cleared this up for me last time I came, but I want the world to kind of hear this because I don't think I addressed it last time me and you, Warren, was on the interview. People are saying, and this is how the picture went viral, that the people pictured in the photo were the ones that went on the boat with Nolan and came back. Can you explain that? Because I don't think everybody that was in that picture even went to Horn Island on the same boat as Nolan.
So I can say whenever we all got out there.
Hold on. Before you get there, because I think this will address another issue that people have of saying, well, why are they taking pictures if the reception is bad? Can you point out where this picture took place? What is going on with this infamous picture now?
Yep. So whenever we got there, like I said, I wasn't even on the same boat as Nolan. We pull our boat in. Nolan, their boat pulls in, whatever. I get out in the water. I walk over to Nolan's boat, and I'm talking to Nolan for a little bit, whatever. And I put my phone up on the dash. Nolan puts his up there. As Nolan's putting his phone on the dash, he sees an actual little camera that one of the girls that came on the boat brought. And his first words was, he picks up the camera and he goes, "We got to take a picture." Just like that. And in my mind, I'm like, heck yeah, like let's take this picture. So that's where you got me and Nolan and one picture. And then as we're taking that picture, Morgan and another buddy of ours come up and they're like, all right, like let's take a picture all together of us on the front of the boat. We're like, all right, yeah, let's do that. So we got on the front of the boat, and that's where that picture is taken.
So that was it taken from a phone or
no, like an actual little camera.
Okay.
Like
and was it
comes
taken from where you docked at, or was it taken out there at Horn Island?
It was taken out at Horn Island.
Okay. So, but wasn't on the phone.
No.
Hey, I want to clear this up too, because I'm not aware of this. You guys may obviously have more information. Were people uploading? I know we talked about the service issue, but were people uploading onto social media?
I mean, you could.
Not really. No.
You could be
realistically. You could.
You could if you want to sit.
could.
If you're motivated enough to do it, yeah. Like I made a phone call to my mom, and I had to call her like 8 times before she picked up because either her service was bad, she was on the back side of the aisle on the south side, or my service was bad, and it was just hard to get through. But like if I went and posted a video on Snapchat, like honestly, I don't think it would like either post or send to somebody. I think, I sent my buddy where we were at, a buddy of mine. I was like, hey, come meet us. And I sent him a video and he's like, dude, I couldn't get a hold of you all day. And like, that explains the point. Like I sent him a video where we were at and it never sent until I got inshore because I had no service.
Would it shock you? Because Christine Wells, Nolan's mother, is online. She was very shocked that she said Nolan didn't have any Snapchats or something. I'm assuming that whole day. Is that shocking to you if he did or did not have photos or videos or stuff uploaded to social?
Not at all.
Not at all.
Because
I mean,
like we said, we've been out there many times before, and nobody's on their phone out there. First off, and then second off, if you want to take Snapchats and stuff like that, you can, but you're just really going to have to save them to your camera roll and upload them back whenever you get insured, because when you go to send it, it's just going to have an error.
And most guys, when they're out on the island all day, they're really not thinking about posting something on their Snapchat story.
So the phone was taken on like a camera that's not a phone. Yeah. Now, how did that get to you guys, and how did that ended up getting to the internet?
So whenever we first realized that Nolan didn't, I'm not going to say he didn't. When we first realized we don't know where Nolan's at, the first thing we were trying to figure out, or his mom was, what was he wearing? And so we were trying to remember what color his shorts were. We couldn't quite figure that out.
I said black.
Yeah, I think we said black.
I really did. He was wearing navy blue shorts.
Yeah, there was like dark blue shorts.
Dark. I just said black because I was trying to piece everything together and help out.
And so at this point, we're freaking out. We don't know where our friend's at. And the girl that took the picture, she was like, okay, well, I just took this picture of today. This is what color swim trunks he was wearing. And his mom asked for that to post on Facebook to say, if you've seen him, whatever, this is what he was wearing. And so that's what we sent to her, or that's what she sent to her, because we were just trying to help. We weren't trying to cover up anything. We want to know where our friend was just as bad as everybody else does. I mean, that was our boy. We want to know worse than everybody else does. And so that's how that picture came about.
And I want to get to the phone situation of Miss Christine or Miss Wells said online, and I've seen it on the news and everything, as if she had to come and hunt you down to get this phone. Now I know, Warren, you weren't at the house, and so you weren't there when they came to get the phone and all that. So how did this happen? Because last time we talked, you said you told, and I will call her Miss Christine, you told Christine that you had Nolan's phone. Like, can you explain that to me? Because I'm confused. I don't know what's what. Did you tell her you had the phone? And when did you tell her you had the phone if you did?
Okay. So first we'll start off with, what I have to say, and then Jax, but and if Morgan has something to say, but I want to get this straight. One of the first things I told Miss Christine.
Hey guys, if you haven't hit the like button yet, can you please hit the like button like right now? It's really that simple. It's a free way to support the channel. It helps me grow and gets the video in the algorithm. So please hit the like button. Let's keep going.
Christine Wells, in the first phone call that ever occurred with anything to do with Nolan Wells being gone, because I was the first person to call Miss Christine about anything. First phone call in anything to do with Nolan Wells was me making a phone call to Christine Wells. And one of the first things I said to her, with multiple witnesses here, pull up the phone call if you want. She said, oh, well, Nolan's location is with y'all at, where the house we were at. And I was like, well, no, he left his phone with us. I told her this. She knew for a fact that we had his phone. And she knew that I told her, yeah, he left it on the boat with us. Like, a bunch of people did. And so I want to make that very clear that I told Miss Christine there was no reason to hide anything. There was no issue regarding the cell phone. She could have came and picked it up, but instead she sent one of her friends to come pick it up. And that's where these things start to get twisted. But no, there was never an issue with the phone. I told Miss Christine, one of the first things I told her was, we have Nolan's phone, and that's where that ends. There was no issues with the phone or the keys. So I wanted to make that clear.
So was the keys on the boat with the phone?
No, the keys were
they're at my house,
at Jax's house, because we all stayed there the night before. I'm sure if I would have left my truck at Jax's house, I would have left my keys there too. Because
it's just one more thing to think about on the boat.
If I don't have my car or my truck, then why would I bring my keys on the boat? So I mean, there's just no point of bringing it, because if I lose them, then just more stuff to bring that on.
Yeah. So I want you guys to explain this phone thing. I think Warren already addressed the fact that he told Christine that he had the phone in his possession. So, the whole Life 360 thing is not adding up as far as what you're saying to me compared to what they're saying. Now, how did whoever came and get the phone, how did they get in touch with you guys, and how did they get the phone back?
So I got a call from a kid we went to high school with. He called me just asking me questions. He saw people posting on Snapchat, like the picture that was circulating. And he called and he was asking questions. He was like, where's Nolan? When's the last time y'all seen him? And then he was like, so where are y'all at? And I told him, I said, we're at Jax's house. And then Warren got on the phone, and I don't know.
So they come to my house, right? And they kind of
hold on before we get there. Was it confrontational, or was it just trying to find? It was confrontational.
Yeah,
already?
wouldn't y'all agree?
He was
110%.
He was very
confrontational.
And when did this happen? Was this on the night of the 4th or the next day?
This was the night when this.
Do you see the play here? How they're trying to attack Miss Christine, and now they're trying to attack Nolan Wells' father. Now, what I want to stop is people to stop saying that is Nolan's stepfather. I believe that is his biological father. And even if it is his stepfather, so what? So what? That is his dad. But they are attacking these grieving parents. Do you see why I can't take these grown ass men serious? Where's your compassion? He was your brother. He was your best friend. Where's your compassion for his parents? You were not, absolutely not, Nolan's best friend. You were absolutely not his brother. Because ain't no way in hell would you be putting your mouth on his parents. Let's keep going. Keep talking, boys. Keep talking.
This was before they came and got the phone.
So this is the night of the 4th, yes.
So you had already spoke to Christine.
Correct.
And then you get a call that was hostile.
Yeah, and then Morgan handed the phone over to me. When I was like, oh, let me talk to him, because I knew the guy. And I was just like, hey, like, he was like, where y'all at? Where y'all at? I was like, we're at Jackson's house. You know, it's like calm down. And then he hung up on me, and then
okay, so they come, they pull up to my house, and at this point I'm kind of freaking out. We're all trying to put our heads together on where Nolan is, and I kind of like isolate myself in my room, just kind of get in a ball and just lose it, kind of basically for a few hours. And they just walk into my house, you know. And I hear all this commotion going on in my living room, and I'm just like, what in the world is going on? So I walk out there. There's probably like 10, 15 people in my house I don't even know. And they're all up in our faces, going crazy, asking where Nolan is, and we don't know. And finally they get into Wyatt's face, and they're like, where's your boat? Where's the boat at?
Demanding his address.
Demanding his address and stuff like that. And he finally ends up giving it to him. And then let me go ahead and state that while they're there, we give them the phone. They have the phone at this point. Then they get the address to his house. Then they go to his house. And they're searching all over his boat, what I heard and stuff like that. Well, anyways, I don't really know much about that, but they come back to my house at around 1 o'clock in the morning. And it's his dad this time. And his dad's being really respectable, really, really nice to me and stuff like that. And as long as another friend of theirs, and he's asking me like, where are the keys at? I don't even know where Nolan's keys are at in my house. You know how hard it is to find a set of keys in a house and you don't even know where to start?
Not hard at all.
Pretty hard. So I start scrambling around my house looking. There's stuff everywhere. Keep in mind, all these people stayed the night at my house before. I'm looking through everything. I can't find the keys. I run back to his father or stepfather, and I was like, I don't know where the keys are. And the guy saying,
there it is right there. Okay. I just want to stop real quick. Stop saying that it's Nolan's stepfather. Christine or Elmore has ever said that Elmore was Nolan's stepfather. That is a shot. Again, you boys, grown-ass men, are on here taking shots at a family who lost their 18-year-old son that was in your care. I pray in the name of Jesus that the truth comes out. We're going to keep going, guys, but they're pissing me off. They're not the victim.
Next to him's texting somebody. I guess I was at my house.
Crazy.
And he said that they're on the Xbox. So I run in, I see him on the Xbox, grab him off the Xbox, and I go and hand it to him. It's plain and simple. Didn't even take 30 seconds.
No trouble.
No trouble at all. So
this narrative that they're pushing, that there was any argument over the phone or the keys, is completely false. Like, let's get that clear.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they just kind of hang around my house, taking pictures of all the cars' license plate in the driveway, stuff like that. And so
When you say they, how many people are here this time?
Like 15.
15 people that you don't know?
They had 4 or 5 vehicles.
I mean, I knew some of them
Full
I
of
went to high
people.
school with, and then some of them I just didn't know.
Now, walk me through this. How do you think it got to this point so fast? That's one thing that I'm curious about. Like, you
jumping to conclusion.
I guess so. I mean,
That's plain and simple.
They went and searched Wyatt's boat.
Yeah, they went and searched Wyatt's boat.
Like
we're hiding them in there or
hiding
something.
Nolan in his boat or something. Like, what is wrong with
Yeah.
him? Like,
Yeah, 100%.
We called law enforcement. I was with Wyatt at the time after Jackson's house that night. I was with Wyatt and
Okay, y'all. Hold on. Y'all close y'all ears. Please close your ears for this comment right here. Can you tell Sarah J. Fields, fuck her? And I said what I said. Fuck Sarah. And I'll repent later. Go tell her like I'm scared. Ooh, fuck Sarah. Fuck her. Fuck her. Let's keep going.
One person we were with saw that their location was actually headed towards Wyatt's house. And so Wyatt got on the phone with 911 and was like, hey, these people are on the way to my house or already at my house. My mom and my dad are there alone and they know nothing about this. But Wyatt's mom actually, when they were looking at the boat, they were actually walking from the boat and she came out and started talking to them at that point. But
did police get involved in some degree here?
Yes, that's what I'm about to get into. So whenever they were at my house hanging out, just, I guess, hanging out in my front yard, finally they wouldn't leave. And one of the people there came up and started banging on the door again for whatever reason, I don't know. My brother actually had to call the cops. And I think they came around 2:00 in the morning and removed them from our property. And after that, really haven't spoken to them since. But yeah, we had to call the cops to make them leave.
The cops came, you told them to leave. And then is there anything else that you addressed with the cops while they were there?
Yeah, so the cops were asking me why these people are at my house in the first place. And I told them straight up, we don't know where our friend is at. I don't know where my best friend's at. These people don't know where their friend's at. We're trying to figure it out. And they're basically assuming that we did something to our friend, which we didn't. And he said, okay, just taking notes, and then remove them from there.
Do you think that this had anything to do with race at this point? Meaning that they approached you because of race, or they approached you because you were the last people with them?
No. So at this point, they just want answers. I don't think this was about race at this point. They're mad and furious, and they don't know what's going on.
But I also want to get this straight. Like, I know some of these people, and these people are like good people.
Yeah.
And I went to high school with these guys. Like, they know me and I know them, and they know my friends and they know them. This wasn't about race. They just knew for a fact that Nolan went on the boat with us. And they were worked up, and that's okay. And they were mad, but that wasn't handling things. That wasn't trying to help. You getting mad isn't helping anything. But instead of solving the problem and trying to figure out, hey, where is Nolan? They were just getting pissed off and not handling things the right way. And I mean, that's what happened.
You guys said you ended up going and looking for Nolan the next morning, but you said you were thinking about doing it that night.
Yes.
And why didn't you do it that night?
So we already called the Coast Guard at this point. We didn't have access to a boat that was already in the water ready to go, other than one that I'm just not allowed to use at all. And I was still this close to taking it out. I mean, I was right there.
So you guys go the next morning, you look for Nolan. Can you explain how did that happen? Who was looking for Nolan? Who was on the boat? Was it multiple boats?
Multiple boats.
Okay, can you explain that? Who was out of this group? Who was on what boat, or who was on a boat or not, going out and looking for Nolan?
So me, Wyatt, and Trayson got in the boat. We got in the Palm Beach that morning, the morning after, and we rode out to the islands, and we were met by a DMR. There was 7 DMR boats already out there, DMR and park rangers. We talked to them. We gave them all of our information. They personally asked if any of us were on the boat with him that day. We told them yes. They just said, all right, well, I mean, we got the area scoped out. I mean, and then after that, we just went up to the beach. I think we met up with y'all in the water.
I took my boat out with Jax and a couple friends of mine, and then my mom and my stepdad. And
they were out there too with you?
Correct. And I just met Morgan and Wyatt and Trayson and his girlfriend out there. And we actually, when I rolled up, I parked up next to Morgan and everybody who was with him. And I was like, well, y'all can run around, or like we all planned this out. Like Oregon was going to run around the south side while we covered the north side, and we were just going to try to cover as much ground as possible. But I mean, there were so many DMR boats and helicopters and drones and everything else out there. I don't really know what an 18 and a 25-foot bay boat is really going to do. So, I mean, we sat out there. We went for a couple hours and we looked around and we searched, but we also don't fit the requirement that DMR has and the tools that DMR and United Cajun Navy and all these departments have to look for somebody. Like, I mean, we didn't put that much of a help out, but yes, of course, we went out there and looked for a friend. That's not a question.
Who else in the friend group was out there? Did you see Nolan's family? Did you see some of the other kids that showed up at your house? You see anybody else out there?
We did see a
couple other.
We met up with a coach that was previously Nolan's high school coach. We met up with him. They said that they had previously already been on the island. They walked a good bit down the island both ways, and they were just driving around the island like we were doing. And we eventually got off the island. We got on this rip current. It was going west out towards Ship Island and then back towards Biloxi. And we drove that for a couple miles. People were also looking on that too. There was multiple boats out there not associated with DMR with binoculars. There was people fishing the rip, and we asked them, they rode it all the way from Ocean Springs all the way out to Horn Island. And we were like, did you see anything, blah, blah, blah. Because, I mean, if a person is floating in the water, treading water, they are going to be most likely in the rip. And that all comes into play with the washing machine. I mean, you got
Horn Island, the washing machine for me.
Horn Island and Ship Island. I mean, they come like this, and then there's no island right here. So it just tons of water flows through. The tide goes out. I mean, sometimes it gets pretty gnarly in there, and it creates this big old pool, basically. Yeah. And I mean, if someone was floating, treading water out in the water, that's where they would be. They could be hung up. They could grab onto a log and float with a piece of driftwood or something, or they could find a channel marker or buoy and grab onto that. So, I mean, there was just main keys that you search for, when you're trying to search for a missing person that has to do with water. And I mean, it's either the island, the buoys, or the rip. And then after that, there's not really anything else you can do. Seriously.
And when did you guys communicate with law enforcement? Because the internet, I think, has this false information that you guys never contacted authorities, and that Warren actually talked to me, or you guys talked to me first before you engaged. So when did you guys actually talk to law enforcement and give your statements to them?
So as soon as we got off the water from searching for Nolan,
which is on the day of the 5th?
Yeah, the 5th. As soon as we got off the water, I got a phone call. I believe he got a phone call too.
Yeah, I got a phone call while we were out there.
I got a phone call too
as well.
So basically what it was saying was, hey, take a few questions over the phone, answer the questions, and then they had a date for us to come in for actual questioning.
Okay.
And mine was the 6th. There's the next day or something like that, I think theirs was too.
I believe mine was the 7th. I would like to say, but not for sure. But
mine was around.
Regardless,
so instead of going in and telling your truth, you lawyered up. Make that make sense. You was just going to talk about a missing person, and if you had nothing to do with nothing, you just go talk. Why hire a lawyer? Keep talking, boys. Or grown-ass men. Keep talking.
Cooperated fully. It's not like we had something
full cooperation from the start. Yeah, really.
100%.
And how deep did they go in this interview with you guys?
Oh, they asked
all the way. I mean, they asked.
How long was the interview? Was it
an hour?
Hour and a half. I dotted everywhere I crossed over too. I told my friends, like, listen, go in there and like say every detail of like even what you like ate for breakfast that morning. It doesn't matter, everything you have, because like anything could help. You literally never know. And like it's what we all did. Like we all cooperated. We all wanted to help. We all did everything that we could to help. Regarding this situation, it's not like we just like.
I could say personally, I started my story from the night before.
Yeah, I started
whenever I got off work on Friday.
I started my story from last 5th of July. Like she was like, all right, take me back to day one. And I was like, all right. I mean, we've been talking about this since the 5th of July last year. Like what we're going to do, like how we're going to make this better. How are we going to make this fun?
First of all, Morgan, I don't know why you here. You left 5 minutes prior to Wyatt's boat and Bart's boat. Why isn't Wyatt in your place? Why isn't Bart in your place? Why isn't somebody that were on their boats in your place? Let's keep going, because none of this shit makes sense to me. I'm gonna have to repent hard tonight. I've been cussing like a sailor. Let's go.
As far as the investigation is concerned, did you guys give your phones over to investigators?
Yes, we gave our phones over freewillingly. It was our choice just to give our phones over, let them look through them, whatever they wanted to do, and got them back.
Because we have nothing to hide. We wanted to be fully transparent with, the sheriff's department, everybody else including the FBI, and anything to do with justice. We wanted to help out, and that's what we did. We gave our phones up. And like Jack stated, we literally have nothing to hide. So.
Yeah. And everybody gave their phones up.
Correct.
Yep.
To be forensically evaluated by the FBI.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah. So while on the topic of phones, did you guys have any access to Nolan's phone? Did you delete anything out of Nolan's phone? What's your thoughts on Miss Christine saying things may have been deleted?
My thought is that's a blatant lie. I know for a fact that this is the thing. We have no reason to get on Nolan's phone. I have no reason to get on any of my friends' phones. If I had a reason to get on Nolan's phone, I wouldn't be able to get on it because I don't know Nolan's password. I don't know any of my friends' passwords. If I handed Jax my phone right now, he wouldn't be able to get on my phone. I have nothing.
I'd have him permanently locked out of that thing.
Correct. Yeah. I have no idea how to get on Nolan's phone to delete anything. But in the first place, we have nothing to delete on Nolan's phone. Like, I don't know because Nolan didn't take Snapchats that day. That means things were deleted.
He was just living in the moment.
We were just living in the moment like every guy on the planet Earth does. I mean, like, I'm not sitting here filming my whole day. And I get Nolan, took a lot of pictures. But just because Nolan didn't take any pictures from July 3rd to July 4th doesn't mean we deleted something. No, Nolan just didn't take any pictures. And that's perfectly fine. I have one video in my camera roll saved from the 4th of July. So
last question. Is there anything you guys want to say to the audience regarding this interview that wasn't covered or something you just want to get off your chest?
I mean, Nolan was like a brother to all of us. We loved him dearly.
Nolan was like a brother to us, and I can say without a doubt, nobody wants to know what happened to him more than we do. I mean, we want to know what happened to our best friend more than anybody, and I promise you that.
I just want to say thank you to everybody who's like sat here and supported us through this horrible moment. I mean, we're still teenagers at the end of the day, and for the internet to come.
You're a grown-ass man, Warren. The law says you're grown. The law said it. Auntie Leah didn't say it. The law said you're a grown-ass man. I'm just saying. You're going to come at us with this, we're still teenagers. You're a grown-ass man. You was drinking, according to your own account. Who gave you guys the alcohol is the question. Let's keep going.
And people to come and accuse you of killing your best friend. It's a horrible thing. And I know Nolan wouldn't want this.
Oh, no.
And it's terrible that it's come to this. It's terrible that it's come to a race battle. But, I want everybody to know how much we appreciate the support and that my friends and I literally sit there and pray for
everybody who's sitting here sending this hate on everybody. Like, my friends are really upset about this, and so am I, that like this has turned into this huge thing. So, you know, I just want people to know that, you know, we're praying for people. Our faith with the Lord's strong, and, you know, we're going to make it through this regardless of what people say about us. Yeah. I just want to say one more thing. Nolan is turning in his grave right now. This is the last thing he would ever want his friends to be going through.
Yeah.
Like the absolute last. Like, this is, he's, gosh, he would not want any of this. He wouldn't want this publicity. The fact that we couldn't even.
You can't tell us what Nolan would want. What Nolan would want is for his mom and his dad to have peace. What Nolan would want is probably to still be here on earth. What Nolan would want is probably you guys wouldn't have left him without his phone. That's what Nolan would want. So let's keep going. We're almost at the end of this. We're coming to the end of the live. But what Nolan would want would still be alive on August the 13th, 2026. I don't know, guys. I get cringed every time I see them. But we have to review it. So let's keep going. And boys, aka grown ass man, keep talking.
Go to our best friend's funeral because, one, we didn't want to take the attention away from him. I mean, that was his day. We didn't want to do that. And the fact that we couldn't even go to our best friend's funeral is horrible. That's something we got to live with. You know,
the rest of our lives.
So you say you couldn't go. Can you explain that a little more? What were you told that you couldn't go, or was it something that you derived from the feedback that you've been getting from the family? What made you ultimately make the decision not to go to the funeral?
So it was a little bit of both. It was one. Well, at first we had our heads down. We're like, all right, we're gonna go. We want to go. This is the last time we ever get to see our best friend. We're gonna go. And then as soon as we made up our minds with that, everybody was like, no, you're not. No, you're not. No, you are not. You are going to either get jumped, hurt, something bad's going to happen to you.
Why?
You guys know better than anybody else. What
happened? Why would they get jumped? Why would they be threatened? Why would you be afraid to go to Nolan's funeral? It doesn't make sense. You see, because if a person was my brother, if a person was my best friend, nothing could keep me away from their funeral. Morgan, Jax, Warren.
As well.
So basically what it was saying was, hey, take a few questions over the phone.
I don't know how we got here.
How deep did they go in this interview with you guys?
Help, you literally never know. And like, it's what we all did. Like, we all cooperated. We all wanted to help. We all did everything that we could to help, regarding this situation. It's not like we just like. I could say personally, I started my story from the night before.
Yeah, I started
whenever I got off work on Friday.
I started my story.
It was our choice just to give our phones over, let them look through them, whatever they wanted to do, and got them back.
Because we have nothing to hide. We wanted to be fully transparent.
Let me get to where we left off. I don't know what happened.
Yeah. So while on the topic of phones, did you guys have any access to Nolan's phone? Did you delete anything out of Nolan's phone? What's your thoughts on Miss Christine saying things?
I don't know Nolan's password. I don't know any of to delete on Nolan's phone. Like, doesn't mean we deleted something. No, Nolan just didn't take any pictures, and that's perfectly fine. I have one video in my camera roll saved from the 4th of July. So
last question: is there anything you guys want to say to the audience regarding this interview that wasn't covered, or something you just want to get off your chest?
I mean, Nolan was like a brother to all of us. We loved him dearly.
Nolan was like a brother to us. And I can say
he wasn't like a brother to you. He wasn't like a brother to you because we don't leave our brothers on remote islands without their cell phones. He was not like a brother to you. He wasn't. He wasn't like a friend to you either. We don't do that. Do you see the expression on Morgan's face? when he said that. Look at the expression on Morgan's face. Look at that. What does that expression tell you guys? When he said Nolan was like a brother to you, even Morgan has a not really. Look at his expression. Look at it. I'm sorry for yelling, guys. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. I do get excited and I get angry sometimes. But look at his expression. What is that expression? What does it mean? It means I highly doubt it. Ain't that what that expression means, Truth Gang? Be realistic. Even the trolls. Doesn't that mean I highly doubt it? That I'm gonna keep going. Look at this. Look at it. I'm sorry, Anthro. I'm sorry. I get mad. But look at it. Look at the expression. Let's keep going.
Without a doubt, nobody wants to know what happened to him more than we do.
Look at his expression.
We want to know what happened to our best friend more than anybody. And I promise you that.
I just want to say thank you to everybody who's like sat here and supported us through this horrible moment. I mean, we're still teenagers at the end of the day, and for the internet to come and people to come and accuse you of killing your best friend, it's a horrible thing. And I know Nolan wouldn't want this.
Oh, no.
And it's terrible that it's come to this, and it's terrible that it's come to a race battle. But I want everybody to know how much we appreciate the support, and that my friends and I literally sit there and pray for everybody who's sitting here and sending this hate on everybody. Like, my friends are really upset about this, and so am I, that like this has turned into this huge thing. So, I just want people to know that, we're praying for people. Our faith with the Lord's strong, and we're going to make it through this regardless of what people say about us.
Yeah. I just want to say one more thing. Nolan is turning in his grave right now. This is the last thing he would ever want his friends to be going through.
Yeah.
Like the absolute last. Like, this is, he would not want any of this. He wouldn't want this publicity. The fact that we couldn't even go to our best friend's funeral because, one, we didn't want to take the attention away from him. I mean, that was his day. We didn't want to do that. And the fact that we couldn't even go to our best friend's funeral is horrible. That's something we got to live with.
The rest of our lives.
So you say you couldn't go. Can you explain that a little more? What were you told that you couldn't go, or was it something that you derived from the feedback that you've been getting from the family? What made you ultimately make the decision not to go to the funeral?
So it was a little bit of both. It was one. Well, at first we had our heads down. We're like, all right, we're gonna go. We want to go. This is the last time we ever get to see our best friend. We're gonna go. And then as soon as we made up our minds with that, everybody was like, no, you're not. No, you're not. No, you are not. You are gonna either get jumped, hurt, something bad's gonna happen to you. You go to that funeral. And then on top of that, they point out another fact that we're going to take the attention away from him, and that's the last thing we want to do.
Yeah, 100%. And then, like they both said, like Nolan's like a brother to us, and now me and all my friends have to live with. Imagine you were 19 years old and your best friend just died, and now the whole internet's accusing you of killing him. And on top of that, you can't go to his funeral and say your last goodbyes to one of your best friends. Because regardless, and we're going to Jacksonville the same way, and so does White, everybody else. I can speak on their behalf about this. Regardless about what the internet says about our relationships with Nolan, we know from the bottom of our heart who Nolan was to us and who we were to Nolan. And I can say this confidently. We were Nolan's closest friends, and we were Nolan's best friends. And this isn't a competition. I know a bunch of guys that were best friends with Nolan too.
Like Javon and him. Javon and Nolan were like brothers too, but this isn't to take attention away from them, but this was a brotherhood. Like this was my brother. And for someone to take away, and the internet to take away our privileges to go to his funeral because they think this was a racial thing is absolutely horrible. And like, we all feel that way. Like, it's sick. Like, seriously, it's absolutely sick.
Thank you guys for coming on the interview. I think it's very courageous and brave. I know that you guys know this, that people are going to say things about you, lie on you, even after listening to what you have said on this interview, even the truth that you've displayed on this interview, even with the other interview we did, that there's going to be lawsuits for defamation. People are still going to lie. But I want to say, after getting a chance to meet you guys, that I'm very proud of you guys for telling your side.
Appreciate it.
It's not easy. And I hope that the world could at least give you a chance by hearing what you have to say. And the truth is going to come out, right? It's going to bear witness if you guys are being honest or not at the end of the day. But I applaud you for taking a step at such a young age to come out and at least, tell your side. So thank you guys.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right, y'all, that concludes all of our interviews. If you enjoy my
All right, guys. Thank you for listening to this painful interview with us. I hope that you guys learned a lot tonight. We've caught them in lies. Stories are contradicting. Doesn't make sense. Everything. I had put the link in the chat for anybody that wanted to come up to express their opinions or give information. And nobody hit the link. But we will be live in the morning. So make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit your all notifications button. I want to thank everybody that sent a gift today. We didn't get any super chats, but thank you for the gifts. We really appreciate you. I'm going to end the live now because I got to eat dinner and it's 9:12 p.m. and I have not eaten. If you can meet us in the morning, that would be great. I want to shout out all my wonderful moderators. Archangel Michael, Demaria, shout out to you guys, Mary A. Make sure you put on your all notifications button. Before we end the live, I'm going to play a song that I wrote for Nolan Wells. I want to thank people for being here. I'm trying to skip over the trolls. Thank you, Julia Chandler. Thank you for being here. Thank you so much, Paul, for being here. Thank you so much, Globe Post News, for being here. Thank you so much. I think it's S Gents for being here. I want you to listen to the words that I wrote on this song before we end the live tonight. Meet me about 10 a.m. If you turn on notifications, you will see that Auntie Leah. If you don't know my name is Auntie Leah because I'm an auntie. I'm almost 52 years old. In the morning. I love y'all. I thank you. Justice for Nolan Wells. Justice for Kendra Johnson. And free Carmelo. See you soon. I'm out. I'm looking for the song.
Mississippi, three boats went to Horn Island. Everybody came back except Nolan Xavier Wells. They brought his phone home, but they left somebody's son behind. This time, we want every answer. Mississippi, cough 'em up, cough 'em up, cough 'em up. Yeah. 4th of July, headed out in the sun. 3 boats on the water, but they came back -1. Nolan was 18 with his whole life plan. College football dreams and the future in his hands. They went to Horn Island, everybody there together. sun on the coast, clear summertime weather. But something went wrong before the end of the day. When the boats left the island, Nolan somehow stayed. They said he made a choice, said he wanted to remain, but he cannot tell his side, so the question still remains. Why would he stay without his keys or his phone? Why would everybody leave and assume he made it home?
Who was the last one to see him on the sand? Who counted every person for the boats left land? Everybody got a story, but the timeline got a hold. Mississippi tell Christine what happened to her soul.
Her baby didn't come home. Her baby couldn't call. Everybody had an answer, but nobody knew it all. If you were there with Nolan, come forward with the truth. A mother needs an answer. What happened to her youth?
Cough 'em up, cough 'em up,
Cough 'em up, Mississippi. Cough 'em up this time. Bring them boys forward, put the truth on the line. We are not declaring guilt, we are demanding facts. Tell us what happened to Nolan and don't hold nothing back. Cough 'em up, Mississippi. Every phone and every boat, every picture, every message, every word that they spoke. His mother needs the truth, his father needs it too. Cough 'em up, Mississippi. Tell us what happened to Nolan Wells. Cough up the truth. Bring every hidden detail to the light. Cough up the truth. Mississippi, get it right this time. 4:31, they reportedly pulled away. But when was Nolan last independently seen that day? There's a window in the timeline, questions in between. What happened after 4 and what did witnesses see? One vote, taking water, bills, Crump acting strange. A call went out for help, then the energy seemed to change. Voices in the background, confusion on the line. Who was on which vessel at that exact time? They reached the mainland, moved from place to place, but nobody turned around to search the island for his face. His mother knew her baby would not vanish on his own. After midnight, she reported that her son had not come home. Search teams hit the water when the morning brought the light. Then July 6th, the living news that shattered every life. Nolan's body found, but the questions only grew. Finding him was not the same as finding out the truth. Her baby didn't come home. Her baby couldn't call. Everybody had an answer, but nobody knew it all. If you were there with Nolan, come forward with the truth. A mother needs an answer. What happened to her youth?
cough 'em up, cough 'em up,
Cough 'em up, Mississippi. Cough 'em up this time. Bring them boys forward, put the truth on the line. We are not declaring guilt, we are demanding facts. Tell us what happened to Nolan and don't hold nothing back. Cough 'em up, Mississippi. Every phone and every boat, every picture, every message, every word that they spoke. His mother needs the truth, his father needs it too. Cough 'em up, Mississippi. Tell us what happened to Nolan Wells. Cough up the truth. Bring every hidden detail to the light. Cough up the truth. Mississippi, get it right this time. They did the autopsy, held the findings for review. The family sought another because they need answers too. Independent examination left the cause of man pending. The family's lawyer said the investigation was my ending. Questions about his neck, questions behind his head, questions about the tissue and what the findings really say. Where is the final report? What will the evidence show? How did Nolan lose his life? His family deserves to know. FBI assistant county still leading the case. Grand jury expected to review the evidence in place. Ben Crump still beside him said examine every fact. If the light. Mississippi, three boats went to.
Please like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for coming. Please like, share, and subscribe. Come back again. Yeah. Now we are going. Please like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for coming. See you next time. Thanks for kicking in.